hit. Like 8, even 10 seconds late. And I was just standing here, staring at the internet. That's how we do. Welcome aboard, everybody. Let me tell you something. Inferno hot. Yeah. And there's guys doing roof. There's guys doing roof. Like 2 houses over. Only. Like, don't get your roof put on in, like, May. Get your roof put on in August. Because it won't be hot. It won't be hot at all. Today should be 107, 108. Somewhere around there. But the peak of the heat isn't until 5 p.m., which is wonderful. Because that means it doesn't drop below 90 degrees until 9 o'clock at night. We just keep going, What's the alternative? So did everybody hear what happened to RC Family with Deluxe? Yeah, he sent me a message on the Discord. For those unaware, there are some clones of the DX44 axle available on Amazon and AliExpress. And they are cloned to such a degree that the Deluxe parts fit on the axles. So Deluxe does not regard them as clones. They regard them as counterfeit. And if you do a video profiling or showcasing those axles, Deluxe will get you, will put they'll get a strike put on you unless you take your content down. Which, I mean, that is within their rights. Sucks. And he had messaged me to ask if I had made a video on it. Y'all know me, man. Those axles aren't even on the whiteboard yet. Is Deluxe a bunch of hobbyist lawyers? I thought that was Traxxas's job. But, I guess there's room for everyone. There's room for everyone to be litigious. And it seems like treading lightly is the way of the day on YouTube. The axles are about $180 a pair. They are a 4-wheel steer set of axles. They are just clone GX44s. Yeah, it's not like he did it on purpose. Right. It's not misrepresenting. Anyone know which ones they are on Amazon and AliExpress? I can probably find them. Oh, I know I can find them. Because I can just go to my purchase history. Now, they'll get your video taken down, but they won't. Trying to get the listing removed is nigh impossible. So, and many of us are all too aware of certain truths, which is a lot of this stuff all comes from the same place. Okay, I'm not making a video on it, so nobody can give me any beef for putting a link to them. Yes, I did, Mr. Sailor. I did see. Now all we got to do is wait for them to appear somewhere other than on AliExpress. I am not ordering off of AliExpress. I order off of AliExpress only when there is absolutely no other option. What did you handicap Mississippi with Jade? Is she getting too good? Well, she's driven enough that it has happened organically. She hasn't even noticed it because she still tries to claim she doesn't know how to drive. She still gets into a little bit of armed warfare with reversing and which direction to turn the wheels to go on reverse. But she's gotten good enough at driving that even if she claims she can't, she can tell the difference one vehicle to another. And yes, the INC-10 with the hard body on it does outhandle what is effectively a stock TRX-4 G500. So yeah, durability-wise, perhaps not so much. ability to be completely submerged, I would also give that to the TRX4, but she is definitely noticing the differences in the performance of the two. Yeah, Deluxe stuff is for sure from China. Yeah. Most stuff is. Pretty soon you won't be able to make a trailing video if you can see the axles. I think as long as you're not, like, see, the whole counterfeit thing, I never got to see the video, and he had to take it down. So, I don't, like, counterfeiting would imply misrepresentation, that he was saying that these were deluxe axles when they're not. We use clone parts all day and night, right? Copy, counterfeit parts, as it were, because very few of us want to pay $200 for a gearbox. I mean, at least I speak for more than one person when I should only just speak for myself. I don't want to spend $200 on a gearbox. I had pretty good on luck on AliExpress until I didn't. When you try to return an error made on their part and it's a big ticket and sized item, they literally make it impossible for you to return it. Yeah. Remember you said on Discord you have to talk her into it. I paid $113 for a truck that's $160 on Amazon. I can wait a couple of days for AliExpress. The stretch there is, if you're in the United States, it's not a couple days. It's 2 weeks minimum. So what is your time worth to you? I don't even want to put down $60 on a gearbox. Yeah, that makes two of us. Jimbo with the first of the fun. That warrants a Susan. That means we're officially we're getting into it now. We're gonna be we're on the move. Who did the show so I can sub him? RC Family. And he did it weird. It's like RC _ family. It might be into the algorithm enough that you can just search RC Family and find it that way. I wait the 2 weeks because I'm a cheap ass. Yeah, I will order it off of Amazon or someplace domestically. It's gotten to the point now where there are places across the ocean that I will order from actively and repeatedly. D1RC X RCFRC, the D1RC Rainforest Challenge, where I got the TI Fury. I'll order from them all day. What's his name? Stanley over there at RCFRC. You get your stuff. Like, you order it and it gets shipped almost immediately. And I've never had a problem with any of the orders. And they keep you updated with tracking. And it's great. Thank you. Smarshall. Smarshall with the 5. I was calling with a guy on Sunday that was asking about cheaper parts because he has a bunch of Vidavon parts on his TRX4 because he watched Florida Joe's videos. Oh, there it is. So we have to get this just for Guy 307. We've got to get this out of the way. Okay, so. Vanquish. Okay. That's the base model. Okay. This is the base model. And then you have the next step up. That one's 2,300 because that one gets you wheels and alloy axles. And then they have the one that you can wait 2 months for. It's $2,600 and it allows you to customize your colors. Ooh. But here we're starting down at the $1,500 version. $1,500. Here's the deal. You can build that or better for at least $500 less money. And let us not forget, you see it right there in the gray font, electronics not included. You're not putting, wait, let me do this. You're not putting that on the rocks for less than $2,000. You're in $2,000 to put that on the rocks. $2,000. What? And okay, there are glazers, and then there are the super turbo ultra glazers, where they will say, yeah, but that's a machined cage, and if it's machined in America, that price isn't that bad. What are we doing? $2,000. My first car that I drove from the last year of high school until it got totaled out from under me didn't cost $2,000. All right? I know it's 2026. You're going to be hard-pressed to find an automobile that is functional and is $2,000. But I want you to just, okay, maybe I've never put myself into enough of the Vanquish mindset. Maybe I don't live in there. But let's go on a thought experiment here. We're going to go on a thought experiment together. We're going to imagine something. A genie, we're going to rub a lamp, and a genie's going to come out, and instead of wishes, he's just going to hand you 2,000 American dollars. $2,000. Now, the requirement of getting that $2,000 is you have to sit down and you have to make a checklist. And on that checklist, you're going to write down all of the things that you would buy for $2,000. Where is the Vanquish herb on that list? My Husqvarna 46-inch riding lawnmower didn't cost $2,000. The mid-trim Jimmy's Moon Buggy costs more than my riding lawnmower. The top trim costs more than my table saw. Like, you give me $2,000, I'll tell you right now, I'm buying a mini mill. That's what I'm buying. Mini mill. Until you drive one, it's hard to complain. That would be a good watch to watch it roll down Tumbledore. No one's buying and building that without going into debt because you know they're putting it on a credit card. I'd rather buy 2 SCX6s or build a literal fleet of better performing rigs for $2,000. You ever try to take a table saw trailing though? Mine is on a mobile base, but like if a scrap of wood falls on the ground, that mobile base won't get over it. My table saw weighs over 400 pounds. It's cast iron extensions on both sides and a full. It's not an open base, it's a full stand base. But I just spent $900 on a pro boat and I just got into boats. That's wildly different. Your pro boat is done at $900, right? And also, before that base model is on the rocks, you could buy 2 pro boats. And then you and your friend could have pro boat duels crash into each other on the body of water of your choice. I heard you don't know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I absolutely don't know what I'm doing. There's something worthy of note. There was a time on YouTube where I truly enjoyed my wife would say to me constantly, don't engage, because there would be comments of a specific nature, and I couldn't help myself, and I would have to interact with these people. And then I think YouTube didn't want us to do that because they stopped sending out emails when you got replies to your replies. They stopped doing that. Then they started hiding even more comments under even more layers of comments. So finding a reply to your reply literally takes 6 clicks, and then you have to search. You can't just find them. You have to like hunt through them to find them. I'm not going to do that. So now I've gone to a step even further. When somebody comes in there and I consider the channel my house, that's my house, this is my house, the Discord is my house, and in my house, I get to enforce whatever arbitrary rules I might want to. So when a guy comes in and he goes, this guy's an idiot, he doesn't even know what he's talking about, I just hide him from the channel. Immediately. No responding, no nothing. No chance for him to make another comment, nothing. I just hide him from the channel. Because if that's the energy you bring, I can just assume, based on that you're a goddamned asshole. Like, you're an asshole. You're the type of person that when you leave a room, the tone comes down. And people go, oh, he's gone now. That's what I assume about those people. So, those people can go, and they can go yell at some other channel, right? They took away dislikes, so that has removed a weapon from those people. They wanted to just facelessly, because I'll tell you this, when they took away dislikes, the amount of negative comments definitely went up, right? Because now people are like, well, I'm just going to be more bold. I've got, like, I did it in the video. I did it in the video for Mr. Hurley's rig, where the guy said, pardon, mi français, where the guy said, sounds like shit, drives like shit. That was his comment on the video of the rig that I gave away, that we, as a collective, bought, and I built and tested, and my kid painted like ice cream, and then we sent it off, right? And that guy's comment was, looks like shit, drives like shit. So he's up there with Toyota Guy in, I just search the internet trying to find free giveaways. You can go right off with the other guy. Mr. Turner hopping in, the Sawtooth King, dropping the 20. And you guys are keeping the giveaways alive because we had like 140 roll off in the past 10 days. Like, there's the Sawtooth is very sawtoothy right now. It goes and it just goes, boom, it goes straight down. Well, if I have been a source of info to you, you better watch out, because I've been told by people on the internet that I don't know what I'm talking about. This is just a box. This is a holder's box. If anyone was hoping for the Zoku element, you know, some of you might know why the Zoku element is still in a box. Many of you might have seen the Facebook post from our good friends over there at Element RC where they tried to blame the weather. Oh, I'm definitely going to build a thing. I'm just not building the Zoku element. The Zoku element is on hold because Element blamed the weather for why all of their parts have been out of stock for a full calendar year. Apparently, as someone informed me on the Discord, the IFS2 has been out of stock for 2 years. 2 years! Is that just not softly discontinued? If it's been 2 years? I have had the ASC 42316 on my notify me when available for a full year, and I went ahead and said, I got to get ahead of the curve. What if they only get 5 of them? I bought 3 of them 2.5 months ago. And then Element is like, actually, maybe it's going to be like October. Guys, it'll be like 15 months before those things are finally in stock, because it's getting an XF. Didn't Miata Commuter say the one thing you haven't done is save us money? Yeah. But they're coming out with new stuff. They can't even have stock repaired. 100%. The last time I got anything usable from Element, it was Tower blowing their stuff out. Tires. we're doing class 1.5. We're doing class 1.5, and we're delving into the addition to the rule set, the change to the rule set. These should be familiar to some or many. 10 Pro rails, 10 Pro sliders, 10 Pro axles. I just did, the camera will not be able to focus on this, but I'm so proud of it. For those unaware, if you get any of the secure ESCs, they basically come default with the BEC set at 5 volts. Will that focus? Look at those two little solder blobs, I did those. I'm never that good. Like, it always looks sloppy as hell. That came out amazing. So, there's that. Yesterday, I got some Delrin, and I made a skid so that we can put an OD3 amidships on this. So this will be an OD3 feeding 10 Pro straights. We've got some body mounts. We're going to go Rhino 95s. We're going to try 95s because this is a straight axle 10 Pro. 10 Pro comes stock on hundreds. Will 10 Pro rails fit a base camp? I don't think any individual part of a base camp will fit a 10 Pro. But if you want to do it, you absolutely can, because you can get a pair of rails. These are Amazon rails. These are $22. And then you can get a center skid. I mean, you can make one out of Delrin for next to nothing. But you can buy just a regular skid for $10. And that's really the only parts of it that you need to be 10 Pro. Because they use a wider spacing. They use 74 millimeters instead of 72 millimeters. And the whole spacing here basically doesn't match anything else. There's nothing else on Earth that matches these 4-hole lineups. This is extraordinarily easy to make. I don't even clean out the marks from the table saw blade. I don't even switch to my flat tooth blade. I just use a regular blade. I measure in the 16 millimeters that it is on the stock one. I do a cut, cut, do the 4 cuts, bump the blade over 2 millimeters until these are exactly. I'm pretty proud of this as well. Let's see if I can get it to read. I mean, right? Let's see. How close did he get? Come on. And you know, if you've ever operated a table saw, you know you do a table saw, you loosen the thing and you tap the blade with with your hammer fist. And I tap that hammer fist over to get these things to exactly 7 millimeters. And the beauty of different width hollow balls is start at 7, and if you mess up, move to 7.5. And then we've got wheels too. Will these be the wheels? I don't know, but probably. These are the Punk's breast cancer awareness pink carbon fiber. I've been looking for something to put them on because on a class 1.5, one of the things that we're doing, primary among, is trying to keep the tires under it. How does one make them, though, man? I don't even know where to start. What do we make? How does one make what? Where do you get chassis standoffs and whatnot? Like the little tubes that connect the chassis. Oh, okay. Yeah, there are places that sell them, but they charge an extreme amount. I will try to find a link on it. Remind me on the Discord. You can buy, off of Amazon, you can buy 6 millimeter aluminum rod, well, tube technically, because it has a 2.5 or 2 millimeter hole through the center of it. So it's like 2 millimeter wall, 6 millimeter OD, 2 millimeter ID. You just drill the ends out to 2.5, tap them to M3, and you can make all the spacers you want for about 50 cents each. Working Delrin is easy. You can have a skid made fairly quickly by using just hand tools. That's true. If you have access to a table saw, you can make a skid like this in 15 minutes. And then the beauty of it is then, because it's a blank, it allows you, I use the spacer because if you want to talk about clearance, look at that. We can just get this sliver of light. So the case on that won't look that pretty. It's gonna get a grain of grit in there, and that's gonna rub against the bottom of that thing, almost guaranteed. We're doing the dang thing, is what we're gonna do. We are building to a body in an extreme fashion because Horizon / Proline / whatever you want to call them. This pinion is a 13, I think. I think I put in a third. That's where I kind of looked at, is the screw kind of in the middle of the adjustment slot? If so, that's the pinion we're going to go with, because I never know what the gearing. Now, this is an 1800. I do have a 2250 on hand. So if it's too slow, that's my only worry, is too slow. When was you going to share the spacer rod thing with us? I've been paying out the rear. I said somebody needs to remind me, because I got to search for it on Amazon. Because if I try to do a search in my order history for aluminum rod, God help us all. Yeah, you can also make them on a Delrin. I've seen you make a skid faster than 15 minutes. You mean 15 minutes? Yeah. No, I mean 15 minutes, like, all in. Now that I found cheap sheets of Delrin on Amazon, I just cut it into strips. I have a 72 millimeter wide strip. I have a 74 millimeter wide strip. And then I just cut it to width. This is 56. Now, the stock skid is 55 millimeters front to back. That doesn't help anyone because it's an odd number. So I cut my replacement at 56 millimeters. That way I can split it in half. And that's a decent fitment, right? And because I use 10 millimeter Delrin, it moves the gearbox up a little. You can do all the work you want. You know, I could easily trim I could probably take 3 millimeters off the thickness of this. But I've done that math. It doesn't really matter. Well, you mean a woodworker, instead of using the hammer fist, why not use a blank piece of wood that measure and just have a jig? Look. That is technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. But every piece I make is one off. I never sit here with the plans of making 5 of them. If there's a thing I don't want, it's to have a jig here to make 10 Pro skids. I mean, I could make a jig. Oh, man, see, now you've incepted me. Now I'm thinking about a jig to make 10 Pro skids. Then somebody's going to ask me to sell one, and I don't want to do that. See, I just talked myself out of it. I don't want to do it. You're on your own. If you want to make a 10 Pro skid, make it. I like doing things one at a time and starting from scratch. That way every build feels like an adventure. Okay, we're truly gonna do it. We're truly gonna do it. All right. So you're gonna make it and sell it, and you're gonna like doing it. No, I will not. Now I absolutely won't, because I am contrarian by nature. Okay. Crawler Canyon Class 1.5, CCC 1.5, is supposed to be full bodies. But, as many of you know, there's a vehicle here. His name is Zombie. I have to walk far, but I don't have to go far. Like, now, I'm over here now. So, Zombie is kind of like he's an unofficial Class 1.5 guy because he's always been on small tires. But he doesn't qualify for Class 1.5 because he runs a tucked body, right? So I kept thinking to myself, what I could do is I could put a different body on him. But this is his body. It's got all the teeth on it. This is his body. So, just this very morning, the man from Tennessee posted a link to a cheap $17 zombie action figure, or whatever you call it. A zombie, anyway. And I thought to myself, hey, how about this? How about as a punishment for running a tucked body, you just have to run a driver figure? And once I had that idea, I thought to myself, well, if we're going to run a driver figure, that opens up our opportunity to build another one off of a tucked body. I liked it when you made your own aluminum chassis. I've made, like, here's the thing. Do you know how many chassis I've made? Like 20? And I mean 20 different builds that were on my chassis. I don't mean how many actual chassis I've cut out. That I have absolutely no idea. But it's a lot of work and it's messy. And these are $20. So, you know. So, if you have to run a driver figure, I ordered one, once again, this very morning. It was a busy morning because I bought this guy some while ago. Why do I not see more people running these? This is the LJ from Proline. This is how it comes. It comes with light buckets that don't fit. But like XL 6063 aluminum round tube 6 mm 303 pieces. That sounds like it, yeah. Is it like $10? $8 or $10 for the 3? No, the one that's $70 is the FJ. The topless FJ. This one was more of the usual Horizon inexplicability. I think I paid $30 for this. It's probably discontinued. So not only are we going to build to a body, we're not even going to get into Link Olympics until the body is fitted. And I mean, look at this. Okay, so I think it looks to me the FJ is 40 now. Nice. Which means it's probably getting discontinued too. They really only lower prices on things when they're going to stop selling them. I can't keep track of all the Proline bodies that they have discontinued. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not afraid to admit it. When I ordered this, I thought this was the FJ because I saw the little cage. So the IR60 is class 1.5? And I guess it could be. Yeah, sure. And here's why I'll say yes. Voodoo Ranger kicked the crap out of an IR60. So yeah, sure. Or Cheeto. That's the problem. Building the first couple Class 1.5s was easy. Now it's gotten to me every time I build one, lurking in the back of my mind are the other members of Class 1.5, including Cheeto and the Voodoo Ranger. And Voodoo Ranger still hasn't been beaten, which is why I have to finish a couple more, well, at least one more 1.5. I need to get up to 8. We have to have 8 class 1.5s. And we converted GFO is now 1.5. Zombie is now in the competition. What I'm trying to do is basically fill Rusty's spot, because Rusty has way too many disadvantages. He got to rework, but he still has full bumpers and C channels, and that's not going to be an advantage to people running flat rails. Ooh. Let's see if this works. Smells nice. I don't know where the answer coming from. Ever gonna try the Mias titanium frame build? Here's the problem. I think well, the video's not up yet. It'll be up soon, I think. Yeah. I've built up enough lead time. I don't think I like the Gold Rush anymore. There's something about it. There's something about it. I don't know what it is. The angle of the skid on that chassis. Well, I mean that could have worked a little better. As much as it pains me, I would recommend the Injora, the INC. I would recommend the INC 60 over the Gold Rush. That's about the new Baker's. Truck guy, here's the thing. I believe that Vanquish will release a plastic caged one. I think it'll probably be an RTR, and it's probably going to be $600. But has been taken. Have I been taken by the skid forward trend? That's a weird question to ask about a guy that's building a 10 Pro right in front of you, which is skid right in the middle. Did Mr. C use that radio wrist lanyard? I figured that picture would be... Yeah. Both of the... It was in the video. She showed it in the video on the Wheel on Wednesday. What chassis over the Mias Gold Rush now? Honestly... if fabrication is off the table, if you only want off the shelf, I would say the Injora, either the INC-10F or the INC-10C, whether you want motor on transmission or whether you want FMM. The INC-10F would be the most close contemporary to the Gold Rush. It goes together better, right? The V2 it doesn't really have enough change, and like, it's been building. Gary Musey has been down for all of 2026. And I've kind of lost the desire to put him back together. What I could be convinced to do, and it depends on what the month looks like financially, I would be more than happy to do a giveaway, one of the month giveaways, INC IR60, the Injora hardbody on top of the Mias V2. I'd build that, and then I could drive it, and then I wouldn't have to keep it. I'm going to say that counts. What's the difference? So the grandest defense that will be offered up for this, or by extension, no, let's just keep the most expensive one up there. The grandest defense would be that it is for people that compete in We Rock, where you have to use a metal cage. It has to have a full interior. It has to have a driver in it. It has to have all the scale crap on it. And it has to use officially licensed tires. So you got to have like Yokohamas or BF Goodrich or something like that. Bull crap. Bull pucky. You're not selling me. If you want to compete in We Rock, you do not need to spend $3,000. Okay? I've said it, and you know what? I'm so mad right now. I'm irrationally angry at this point. I usually get paid by Google at around 2 p.m. Haven't gotten paid yet. If I get paid during this live stream, I'm going on right now. My leading choice is one from RC Speedy, R2 Moon Buggy. You know, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I want the VFD one. Yeah, not that one. Don't worry about me. I'm on the internet right now. Yes, this one. So, if I get paid before this is over, I'm going to go there and I'm going to buy that. In stock, one available, stainless steel cage. Now you see there's an option to spend $150 more for titanium. That saves 100 grams. I'm a weight weenie as much as the next guy, but, right? That's $1.50 a gram. I can buy brass to offset the additional 100 grams of the cage. And you see, we'll pair that with some Mias four-wheel steer Capra axles, and we'll be at what? Well, I think shipping is some egregious amount on these. It's like $40 or something. $40 to ship it. So call the cage $400. $400. What's wrong? What's wrong with Capra geometry? I don't like. Okay. What? Yeah, if you set up your geometry and your suspension, yeah, the 100 grams aren't going to be that impactful. I'm trying to get around the Capra geometry comment. Like, is that a positive or a negative? What does that mean? I'd watch a YouTube video of a woodworker making his own cage. I have the stuff. I have the stuff to braze. I've got tubing. What I think I lack is desire. I didn't decide to get a tiny toy car that goes slow and then the very first thing just start making my own chassis. I've never had a quote-unquote proper cage. I think I'd rather have one first. Because maybe I'll get that one and maybe I won't like the geometry. You know? That's possible. Then I can address it myself. Yeah, all of the people are living by a wildly non-woodworker's credo, which is, the woodworker's credo is we make it if we can't buy it. Like, so far as I've seen, you can't, nobody out there, if there's a skid that if there's a blank skid for 10 Pro, I haven't seen it. Because if there was, and they weren't 3D printed, I would just buy them. But I can't get a Delrin blank skid for a 10 Pro rail, so I make them. That's how woodworkers do. But we don't make things just to make things. I have to make a medicine cabinet for the bathroom. And I mean, I have to. There's nothing that's going to fit. So probably just center it. That's what I'm thinking. And it looks like I can get away with this one. And if we can do chassis brace body mount combo, I'm on board. Do you think the Vanquish Origin Classic is a good kit for a noob, or is it too complex? No, that's because it's not a twin. If it had a VFD twin in it, I would say maybe don't do that. But no, the Origin Classic is a great one. It didn't even have too many mistakes in the manual. Now, if you want to build something that crawls rocks, if you want a kind of universal, kind of does everything, the Origin Classic is fantastic for that. But they're not cheap to get finished. Need a walnut skid to look cool. Really hard to put threads in walnut. I mean, I guess you could do nut zerts. What was that cage? The one that I had linked. When you say that cage, do you mean this one? RC Speedy R2 Moon Buggy? Where do you get your 7.5 millimeter balls? They are SOR Graphics from A-Main. They are the cheapest per unit. For $20, you get 25 hollow balls. So they're under $1 each. And trust me, if somebody makes them, I've tried them. Yeah Racing, Samix, Hot Racing, whoever's making them. And the SOR Graphics ones are stainless, and they're less than $1. Why not a walnut chassis? Someone had made the suggestion that actually might be possible, where if you just kind of did it like a unibody, like leave a lot of wood and carve open spots to like fit the gearbox and slots for the drive shafts and whatnot, because aluminum is, oh God, it has to be, because you have your different strengths. You have strength being pulled apart. You have resistance being crushed. You have how far can you deflect it before it breaks. Aluminum is way ahead of wood. So you would have to get wood really thick. Like if you were going to do a flat rail chassis out of wood, it would probably have to be, I'm thinking at least 3/8 of an inch. You'd have to have 10 millimeter thick rails, which I mean could be done. I think the TGH skid is the best for crawling. The lower rear links are closer together. It causes better rotation. And if shocks are good, it works awesome. I'm not sold on having different roll centers front and rear. How many people have cracked a carbon chassis? Well, it depends on whether or not you bring in the Red Cat people. Because I've heard tell of numerous Ascent Fusion chassis getting snapped. OSB chassis? Hell yeah. You'd have to call that one the Gremlin, because you cannot get it wet. If you get your OSB chassis wet, that's all she wrote. The tensile strength of aluminum is far beyond wood and lighter too, yeah. It's like, they have to do comparative. They tend to use steel, right? Aluminum is not nearly as strong as steel. Aluminum also has a modulus of failure, and steel doesn't. But aluminum can approximate the strength of steel. Like, that's why we use the 1/8 inch aluminum for everything. 1/8 inch aluminum is going to be plenty for 99% of us. You know what? I'd like a little more of that cleaned off. Oh, the third application was the key. Nice. You can make gears out of wood. The problem is, you would have to use a wood that is so dense that by that point you would genuinely have been better off just using using aluminum or steel. How do you keep roll center the same front and rear? Well, okay. All other factors being equal, if you have the same link separation at the skid, front and rear, the roll center should be the same for the front axle and the rear axle. Like they should articulate the same. If yeah. So, while they may not look particularly similar, Jake the Snake and the GFO. Okay? But they might not look similar, but they are. Because even before, like, back when Artful Dodgers was a thing, okay? This is an Artful Dodgers Ground Fox. Okay, that's why he's the GFO. Ground Fox with an origin body, GFO. Ground Fox origin. So this is a Ground Fox. And this is the skid that comes with the Ground Fox. This is very similar to the link spacing of Element. That is probably what it's copied off of, because the skid is built for Element gear, right? It's got a fox belly in it. This is Jake the Snake. Now, I may or may not have copied the axles. And this was very early on. So, he was originally built to use a Capra skid because I had a leftover Capra gearbox. So I was going to attempt to make him work on a Capra gearbox. That obviously didn't work. So this is a Vader, I think it's a Vader skid, or it's a Spare Time Hobbies skid. I think it's a Spare Time Hobbies skid with a Vader 3-gear adapter on it to mount the 3-gear. So, I mean, I could have just, I probably should have just replaced this skid at this point. This is high roll center. So, I don't know if you can determine the difference in link mounting philosophies between these two. So Jake the Snake is a very pinched V, because in the Capra fashion, the links actually touch each other. And if you want to talk about something that impacts handling characteristic pretty fast, it's going to high roll center. And I have seen many a skid. They've started to appear on Amazon in greater and greater number. So he's just over a tire of low roll center in the front and high roll center in the rear. And I don't know about that mix. I think I have something. I need to build something that uses one of these. But I'm unsure. Like, they put them far apart in the front because Offset Pumpkin. Offset Pumpkin needs the links spaced out like this so it'll clear. If you're all center, it's not really a problem. Nothing's getting in the way. Tuning that, because you have to tune one end differently. Anyway. You can have good results. Capra has too much torque twist. I've never experienced, I only have, I don't know. How many builds have I done off of Capra architecture? At least half a dozen, I would guess. And I have never noticed any torque twist. Now, I don't run any Capra gearboxes. I also think that torque twist is a misdiagnosis 99% of the time. Literally 99 times out of 100, it is either improperly tuned suspension or mechanical binding. Once I take my magnesium, I am done. I can't take magnesium, it gives me hives. With the anvil body and the anarchist, did you stretch the sides of the body over the sliders? I cannot get the sides to go over the sliders, or did you use the slim sliders? I have the slim sliders on one and I have the normals on the other. You just take a Dremel and just take a little bit off the edges. And I mean like a little. I just use a little sanding drum and you just sand a tiny little bit off. That's all I did. Do you prefer big tire 5.5 or 4.5-ish? I like the belly drag challenge from small tires. Different lines, not line slang. It depends on the build. You know, I like a crawler caning class 1.5. I would say overall, if we had to arbitrarily pick our favorite tire size, I would say 4.65. 4.65 is probably my favorite. Because you can get away with 4.65 in a lot of different scenarios. 4.75 tires sometimes just feels like too much. So it's shocks, got it, suspension. I was just trying to understand more, everyday learning. Yeah, watch out if people are throwing around torque twist too much, because it often isn't. You know, there's too many videos. You'll never be able to find them. I couldn't even tell you which video it was specifically, but I did have something that was torque twisting, where it was twisting because of torque. And even at that, torque twist is only identifiable in a very small number of situations. A lot of people, what they'll see is they'll see a vehicle like this, and it's driving along, and its body will be like this as it's driving. That's not torque twist. That's the fact that this vehicle is fitted with, what's he got? Well, these are super softs. We have a vehicle that probably weighs somewhere between 5 and 6 pounds. Yeah, somewhere between 5 and 6 pounds, and is wearing maybe 3 pounds of springs. It's very easy for rotational mass to squash the springs on one side and extend the springs on the other. That's not torque twist. That's just rotational torque looking for a place to go. And it is like everything else in the universe, it is going to take the path of least resistance. And which takes more effort? Moving the 6-pound vehicle forward by rotating all 4 tires and the entire drivetrain, or by compressing 1.5 pounds of springs? I'm going to say that it's by compressing 1.5 pounds of springs. I don't know how I marked my finger. I didn't even check to see if we have posts. We're just going to assume that we do. And Bruce barely leans because he's on. Bruce has, I think he's up to 7 leafs in his stacks, and then he has springs inside his Desert Lizards as well. On your route share video, you said by the time we saw it, you'd be running a Fusion Pro Elite. Does the Pro Elite fit without hitting the links to drive shaft? Yeah, it did the whole of the Invitational. As a matter of fact, so did I convert this guy? Okay. So if they ever become available again, yeah, the Elite, like I said it in the video, I believe that it was meant for this. Now see, give me the Hurley finger. See this clearance right here? That's why I don't think you could fit a full Elite. A full Elite is going to go right to where the drive shaft is. So, I mean, a Pro. An Elite will fit just fine. And I believe that they definitely designed it for this. Look how low down that thing is. Now, let me grab the Madam, and I'll give you a suggestion. And I haven't tried it yet myself. But maybe we can fake it with a ruler. So we go like this, and then grab that limb. I have said in the past where I think, I might go so far as to say, I believe, that the Wizard went through some iterative stuff. The Hurley finger. I have replaced the Wizard transfer case with a creeper tee. Right? You see my little aluminum bodge panel that then bolts to the stock positions, and then I mean, it lines up with the stock carrier bearing, right? Now, look how straight this drive shaft is. Look how straight this drive shaft is. All the drive shafts are nearly perfectly straight, okay? Because of that, I think that if you were to remove this bracket, which attaches, I believe, to the bottom of this is why I haven't done it. You have to take stuff apart. It takes this standoff off. When I'm looking at this, what is it, 48? Oh. You could replace these two links with high clearance turned on their side, and you would be able to fit an Elite right here. Because here's the only issue. If we measure back 48 millimeters from the plate, there's the 50 line right there. It's just going to hit this link. So if this link went and had a high clearance turned sideways, it could clear an Elite. So you could, I think, run an Elite on the FMM. Now, the only thing stopping the motor from being longer now is this bracket right here, which would allow a longer outrunner. But running in this configuration, it doesn't need anything bigger than that. Oh, torque twist. I'm buying up all of the creeper tees. I'm putting creeper tees in everything. They're just so simple. And they're so cheap. And I just wish that you could buy one without having to get the FMM with it. I wish someone would sell me the creeper tee individually. 4-hole, 3-hole. I don't think these need to be up very high. Yeah, that's probably high enough. Well, I said but I rescind the when someone said Furatech Unity. Because we fixed the Furatech Unity. You just have to turn your drag brake down to the point where it barely works. And if you turn your drag brake down to where it barely works, your Unity doesn't get overly hot. So the Unity is an option again. Ish. Still not wildly comfortable advising people to buy Furatech. Well, that's awfully level. A lot easier to line up the back. It's got little fake. It's got little fake hinges. You can get a legit creeper tee from TGH, but it's expensive. And Chris is still in rehab and recovery from a motorcycle accident, so no idea when you'd get it. Oh. Next level, what is heavy? Heavy is very subjective. Where does heavy begin for thee? Whoever said there was no such thing as stupid questions was wrong. All I'm trying to do is not become one of those forum guys where they're like, oh, just Google it. Do you have some kind of list of all your rigs and components you've used, or is it all stored in your head? I wish that I had some kind of a list. Nothing is stored in my head. No. He's absolutely right. It's mostly just wind in there right now. Where's the question? Is it dumb? But there are questions that are not. I do see a lot of reports of FureTech failure, but that might just be because there's so many out there. No. Their quality control is iffy at best. That's why I had said that it's difficult for me to recommend them. Can we go Vanquish all the way around? That'd be great. I never have a use for these tiny, tiny little body posts. Yeah, movie quotes and 40-year-old songs is most of the capacity, I'm not going to lie. We might be able to get away with 10 Pro! 10 Pro and a 10 Pro! Say it ain't so! Stole my tweezers. That's not a 10 Pro post. That is. There's an Ecto post in there. I don't know how that happened. PureTech drift stuff and 1/24 stuff is good. I would not know. I will take I'll take your word on it. Okay, so that pin's not going to line up. I already drilled the holes. That's a bummer. Oh, it's upside down. It's upside down. Does it not matter? You know what we'll do? We can make it work. That is true. I should call them by their proper name, which is fingies. Well, okay, let's set it in place, see if it's level. Didn't quite bring that out enough. The humidity in here is genuinely incredible. Remember making nameplates for most of the rigs? Have you ever thought about making a map of the shed? You know what? I probably should. That looks level to me. I can't really get the... In the back, I could get the body like 2 millimeters lower than that. But the front looks correct and the rear looks correct. Still not big enough. Now, for whatever reason, these don't quite line up. I bet we can hog it, though. Is there a world where the Hobby Fusion 8 is superior to the Elite 2300? Yeah, I mean, if your rig weighs like 16 pounds. There's a use case out there, but it's pretty narrow. Fusion 8, the full Fusion 8 weighs over a pound. You have to be able to make use of it. Should have used 12s. Too late for that. Now time for the double check. I think I made these thick enough to use 14s. This is a jerp. I don't know much of anything about jupes, so I don't know what a jupe LJ is. Apparently it's this. Well, that's not too shabby right there, huh? Have you made a Suzuki Samurai yet? Yeah, that was the giveaway. Mr. Hurley has it. That was the giveaway a couple months ago. Don't ask me to remember when. Did the microphone change for the live? No. Should it have? Is it not doing something that it should be doing? Or is it doing something it shouldn't be doing? G-Hub is active. Yeah, all my EQ settings are just as they always were. I'm on my Blue Voice preset of Broadcaster 1. No changes there. Lost the air. Hey. Oh, no, Mr. Hurley got the Enduro. That's right. How many elements have I given away this year? Like a lot. You'd think I hate elements. It sounds kind of tinny. The tinniness could be because there are so many fans going in here right now to try to keep it livable. And I think the noise cancellation is fighting for its life. If I turn the noise cancellation off, you would probably like it a lot less. I have a fan, the cooler's on, I got a fan down here. There's 4 fans running in here. What have you missed? Nothing. Oh, thank you, Next Level, by the way, and welcome aboard Lucky 7. We do all kinds of nonsense around here. That's our nom de plume. All right, so this is so far so good. And I've already cut out the footwell because it is going to need a full driver figure. And I tested all of the figures I have on hand, and they didn't drop this down enough. So this needs a 6-inch figure. Tried it with an 8-inch figure, too big, way too big. Tried it with a 7-inch, also too big. So none of the Super 7s were small enough. But luckily, G.I. Joe comes in basically all of those sizes. The noise cancellation kind of sounds like when the crows drop pine cones on the roof. It's too hot for those boys out there. We ain't going to hear any crows out there. All right, and now we're going to just do this. We're going to fudge this to the max. Any news on Zoku winding down? Only asking after the demise of G-Speed. Something to get Zoku element rails. Not that I've heard. Yeah, I did. I cut the footwell out because I was trying to fit Steph from Fallout in there, and her head was above the top of the cage. And one of the qualifications is that the driver's head has to be below the top of the cage. Okay, so it's a class 1, so we have some leeway. But when I said we're going to fudge it together, I meant what we're going to do is we're going to... Fine. This is less fudgy. Do you have a Master Chief? You know what? I don't. The Jeep needs a 6-inch. I ordered a 6-inch this morning. I ordered another Dreadnought because I'm big on Dreadnoughts. I'm trying to gather them all. We've got Zorana, we've got Tomax and Zaymot. I want to get all the bad guys. We need to get all the Cobra. And you know what'd be great? We need Element to send me my ASC 42316 so that I can put Stealth XFs in the twins so that I can put their driver figures back in. That'd be amazing. And I'll hold my breath starting now, so I'll be dead within just a few minutes. Like, could they only pay for one boat? So, like, everything had to go on one boat? Oh, I ordered a gearbox, and it was off of Amazon, but it shipped directly out of China, and it went on a boat. The tracking it said arrival at port. And as soon as it said at port, I was like, oh my God, it's going on an actual boat. It took 18 days to receive that gearbox, which is, it's not that bad when you consider boat, when other companies have access to higher technologies. And still take 2 weeks to get it to you. So this should be 313. Thereabouts. I have a lot of rigs that are supposed to be 313 and are like 315. So. Still looking for a decent 78 millimeter wide Delrin skid for 10.2 flat rails. I mean, easy. Just make it. 78 millimeters is quite wide. Yeah, looks like 313 right there. I felt like we haven't Link Olympicked. That gets me curious. Yeah, even a Capra skid's only 74. 78 is really wide. It's like TRX4 skid wide. You know what? To me, it's looking like it needs to be shorter. Because that is centered in the front. And this is setting out at about 295. Go right there. That's a decent split of the difference as far as I'm concerned. That looks fine. I'm trying to envision the tire turning through its arc. This should be plenty of clearance in the front. The fender wells are cut up really high. My only worry is that the the Class 1 tires are going to look too small. 2S to 3S was a big jump. Is 3S to 4S approximately the same? No, it's half the amount. When you go from 2S to 3X, you've increased voltage by 50%. And when you go from 3S to 4S, you've only increased voltage by 25%. Just need a mock-up. Oh, no, this will be fine. Yeah, it's fine. Like, that's pretty centered in the opening, and now I understand why they have that cutout right there. Because that tire is going to turn, and it's going to go right there. No, this should be fine. Yeah, we're going to go right there. Or some approximation thereof. And we're going to try not to move it too much. And then we're going to guess tomato. Hold that about right there. Should be centered. I said centered. It's long. $120-ish. $120-ish. Which will give us a rear link of like 132. It's not a huge split. That is very skid in the middle. Okay, so what if we follow me here? Okay, so that was one. I'll just write it down. I would say move your front axle maybe 2 or 3 millimeters forward. I tried to write 120 while the whiteboard was wiggling, and now it's unreadable. These are called like chassis setup jigs. They're nearly impossible to find. And if you go back in time like a year, these were everywhere. I'm looking at the position of that looks about right. That looks about right. If anything, I would think move that forward like that so that we can get a better differential in link length. I'm going to go right there. Like I say, it's all arbitrary. It's all arbitrary. And we're going to make 2 links, and those 2 links are going to be 115. 115 eye to eye. What do we feel like for rod ends? I'm thinking I should have enough element. I just bought a new bag of element. Yeah, element it is. Well, element it could be. 115 eye to eye. We'll set front wheelbase first. 70. Oh, I got so many of this side. This is working out. Or no, I don't. I have no 70 high clearance. You have to be actually kidding. This can't happen every time. It cannot happen every single time. I have one 70 millimeter straight. I have no 70 millimeter high clearance. I've got one element 83 and one element 93, which is a 60 and a 70. So I have one 70 millimeter link. I genuinely don't know how this keeps happening. I guess, how hot does your servo get? How hot does your servo get? I do have the universal links, and here's the thing. I went without them for so long that I never remember to get them out. Also, the ones from Boom Racing, they only comfortably go down to a certain length. And I tend to be operating about half of my links below the length that they like. I mean, I'll make, again, woodworkers again, I'll make my own links if I have to. But I would strongly prefer just being able to take them off the shelf. Okay, that's 115. A recent servo test I did, probably about 115, between 115 and 120 is where the servo was, and it was getting worked. It wasn't just driving around. If you're out in Arizona and it's not like early morning or late evening, Arizona's so hot that, like, before you power it up, your servo's already at 100 degrees, so. I don't think 115 will. I don't think that's correct. Well, we're going to find out right now, because I just made two 115s. If we're not here for a Link Olympics, why are we even here? Part of the whole deal is watching some jabroni make links over and over again. You know he's going to have to do this 12 times. Look, I bought 3 packages right when Axial was discontinuing them, the official 10 Pro pin, so I can build at least 2 more of these. This is why we do front lowers first. And especially after we've already pre-mounted the body, we're going to find out on the right quick if this pulls it in too far. Oh yeah, somebody, I'm amazed that somebody isn't already 3D printing something like this. I think I put enough clearance on there. I probably could have put hollow balls in those before. That's the fun in that. And of course, axle side is 7.5. I was so happy that I cut those things to exactly 7 millimeters. There was no way. Is the Enduro SE trail truck at 275? It's not worth getting to try a Stealth XF transmission. I would be hesitant to buy an SE right now because Element is not helping us out. They're not helping us out. Like, there's no parts availability, like, at all. 10 and the 16s. Like, even if you wanted to add underdrive to your SE, I don't even know if you could do it right now. Maybe via the aftermarket. This is double shear, but we're not worried about. I mean, this is double shear for the link, single shear for the shock. So we're not. Are the Mias nylons a good option? Always, always. The only issue with the Mias nylon portals, and by when you say nylons, I assume you mean the nylon portals. Always a good option. Just go ahead and order the double cartons at the same time. They're like $15. And they will increase your steering smoothness and angle to an almost illegal level. Now, the Mias nylon straights are probably the best value in axles available today. I was thinking about running a smaller tire on the rear for Poor's underdrive, but I'm afraid it'll tip the pendulum more and I'll flip. Most likely what is going to happen is a smaller tire on the back is going to just hang your rear axle up on everything. Your departure is going to be not great because the rear is now sitting lower. Okay. I mean, I'm willing to acknowledge it might have moved it back. It might have moved it back too far. And I'm just looking at based on the shock angle. We're kind of in the middle. No. I changed my mind back the other way. I kind of feel like it's in the middle of the well. Because what you can never do with the ruler is you can kind of never approximate this without moving things around. Because that is sitting right there, and that would be at somewhere near full compression, and that tire would be right there. That's middle of the well. That's middle of the well. So 115 eye to eye there. We'll just, you know what? We'll just steal all the zombies. It's either that or I have to build all the other ones. And I did some pre-prep, but I didn't do that much. Come here. I've been asking for a W of overdrive via tire size for a while now. I understand why it's a bad idea, but it would be interesting. Well, here's the thing. What we're going to do is we're going to put this on. We're going to put the tires on it so that we can set the fenders down on the tops of the tires. And we can see if the front is not far enough forward. This pin is ever so slightly too long. I am running out of these stupid reduced pins for these 2mm holes. That one not. It's the type that always get your tires stuck on. This is exactly the place in building a rig I get discouraged. This is good. Ha! I also have, I think I have 4 sets of class 1s. Okay, on a 105, 240 on those carbons, it'll be real tight. Probably like 225. Okay, so that would actually sit about there. Like the front of the tire is like perfectly parallel with the front of the body. So I would just try to do the same with the rear. Looks a little weird. Looks a little weird. I think the rear needs to be right about there. That's like 295. What is the wheelbase on this body? Thank you, Mr. Gorilla Design for the 5. Keeping the dream alive. Push front 5 millimeters or more forward. But why? Why? You're just hurting the handling. If you push the rear forward, the body's fixed, the chassis fixed. That's lengthening the front link and effectively shortening the rear link. The differential is getting closer and closer to equidistant. It's dead center in the middle of the fender. I don't understand why you would push it further forward. Jeep is supposed to be tire out on the front. I don't give a rat's ass what a Jeep is supposed to look like. I'm going to measure that right there. And if we've got 15 millimeters of differential, that'll be fine. And we don't. That's 120. So we got to push it to 300. Yep, that's exactly 5 millimeters. 125 eye to eye. So it shall be. I swear to God. Just come up with a link that I have. You'd think I was asking for the moon and the sun and all of the stars above. Obviously, I must just build the same thing over and over and over again. 80. It's 10 millimeters longer, you moron! Those people on the internet are right. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm going to blame it on the fact that it's 83 degrees and 60% relative humidity inside the building. I went through all that work to make a Bushido not equal length links. We're going to find out. 10 millimeters of link length differential ain't exactly skid forward. The shocks might not work now. Because we might need 90s. Or 85s. Is the XP counter inoperable? I don't know. I haven't clicked on top fans in like 2 months. No, it's still working. Oh. Oh. I know Stu-Nod's doing it on purpose. There you go. Now, by the time I'm done with this, which is nestled in behind that window, by the time I'm done with that, I I will have invested like, this is going to be a typical. I mean, I know we used to say that there's the $500 rig, right? I think we got to bump that up to $600 now, don't we? There's like the build's below $600 and there's the builds above. This is going to have an EcoPower 832 in it. That's $100. This is going to have a Secure 120 and the Secure 1800. That's $100. So that's $200 right there. If we're talking about the build minus things like electronics and tires, yeah, economical. It's not ridiculous. Yeah, YouTube's doing a bunch of shenanigans that nobody asked for. They've sent out a couple emails and notifications to the dashboard about how, like, they're changing the way view counts are tabulated or something. Like, they're changing things to match how short view count is counted. And I'm like, none of this matters. None of this matters. It's all arbitrary. I've yet to see here the price on that thing. Okay. This is the base model of the $1,500. No wheels, no tires, no electronics. You need 2 half heights on the axle. So if you go the economy option, you're spending $120 on servos. If you go the way that most of the Vanquish people are going to go, you're going to spend $400 on servos. Then you're going to need to put like an Elite in it. You're going to need to put wheels and tires on it. It's going to hit the rocks. It's $2,100 to $2,200. Or you opt for the one that does come with wheels and aluminum axles, but you start at $2,300, and then you need to put electronics on it, and then you're going to hit the rocks for about, we're going to say $2,700 to $2,800 is apparently where you're going to be. And then you can go for the VPSO option, where you get to choose all of your colors. Ooh! And that is $2,600 plus electronics, plus tires, etc. You're on the rocks, $3,100 to $3,300, depending on how you choose to outfit it. And that is before you opt to put anything else on it, because you see that those are Vanquish portal axles all the way around. Show me a photo without tires. I think our best bet is this one right here. So those are the same weights that come on like a VRD. Well, you're going to want the big weights, at least for the front, right? You're going to want to throw them big weights on there. That's $100. You know, VP's getting a little bit of you're out of touch. You're out of touch. Out of my head. So, you know for a fact, there are people that ordered that. They hit the order button so fast, they probably damaged their phone or keyboard. That is Hall & Oates. And copyright strike. If somebody could tell that it was Hall & Oates. I'm getting a strike for sure. You know, they have a defense. This is a Poor's thing, right? Because if you talk smack about the herb, then you're just a poor, right? Well, it's not a problem because you can't afford it. You poor. Someone on the Discord discovered that when your box arrives with your herb in it and you buy the base model, like a poor, when you buy your base model, it will have a box in there that's empty. And that empty box is supposed to contain the alloy axle housings if you bought one of the models for the non-poors. So that is what they call the insults to the injury. You could only afford the plastic axles, so you're going to get an empty box in there. I love that. That's one of the best things I've heard in all of 2026. I have a GMA's 4x4 from the Build Along, which the new kit is inspired by. I can bring it to the canyon if you're interested in evaluating testing. I absolutely would. I would absolutely love to drive that. Because, oh, let me check. It's 1:45. It's a little early. I have gotten paid. All right, I'm going to, okay. We can do this before it gets to any information. Roll cage and law aluminum. Does it like? I don't know which one. Long, I guess. I don't know. Standard. RC Speedy decal. Oh, gold, obviously. I don't need any of that stuff. I don't need screws. I don't need scale disc brakes. I don't need shocks. I have shocks. I already ordered shocks for this. Oh, wait. Do I need the high shock mounts? Because, like, what shock do they want? Shocks, 80 to 100, 80 to 100. Full droop setup. Okay. Yeah. All right, because I have 100 millimeter shocks. So I don't need any of that. Wait. Shipping information, name and address. Oh, and then add to bag is up at the top? Okay, well, if I'm going to enter information, I'm not going to. So I want standard shock mounts. I don't think that the herb was intended for the regular folks. I have an R2, get the tall shock mounts. Okay. That is valuable information. I think when it's hotter, I type even worse. If that's believable. And then add the bag. Go to bag. Enter your email address. Huh. Shipping changed to free. Okay, we're going to do checkout. Do this. There's all my information. We'll see if shipping tacks back on. Continue. It did not. Huh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it says shipping free. All right. It's 3-gear bolt pattern. I'm going to check out right now. I can't see chat whenever I'm in the other window because I haven't dived in depth enough to find out how to make OBS stay on top. No. Remove that and use that. Okay. And complete purchase. And spinning. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for your order. Ordered on August 21st. Wait, let me see if I can keep my information hidden. There you go. Let's do this. Just go, ooh, look at that. Payment status, paid. And voila. I think I have almost all of my other stuff already on hand. but I am going to order a set of axles for foil steer. I don't have servos yet. I hadn't thought about that until just now. And I'm going to do it a little bit pours. Oh, well, let's do this. Let's do this. Engage with your audience. There we go. I'll put it on you. What? Touts? You're gonna run tires. I'm gonna try to build it as a Wee Rock kind of like equivalent. So 475 something 475. I don't. You know what? I don't know. I'm looking at the rack right now. Swampers. I've got those are a fit. Those are real. And then other than that, at least on the rack in front of me, I don't see anything that is like a licensed tire other than that. Other than OE compound Swampers. They're pricing the adults out of the hobby. I got the body the kid painted. It's not as white as I originally thought. It's like a baby blue. The face on the hood reminds me of the Joker. What you couldn't see in a lot of the imagery is, remember when I mentioned the kid did all of the line work imaginable on that thing? Boy, did they. There's so much line work on that body. Oh, that does remind me. We have one more body for sale. This is how we're motivating the kid. The kid asked me for a couple bodies to paint, and this one does have a mermaid on it. So if you have a lady or a child lady in your life, probably more oriented towards that. It's got the whole under the sea vibe going. This is a forge, and you know, the kid also will do commission as well if you want something painted. Supposedly, there's one body on the way. You know, we'll see how that shakes out. The amount of work is insane. The kid needs to charge more seriously. It's so good. Tell the kid they have some serious talent. They're in there, and they keep telling me they can't draw ponies because they have the body. Build the R2 to run with the Rainforest thing. That's the plan. Yeah, the TI Fury and this buggy together. That way I want them both on 475 tires. You know, both be pretty cool. And we can have the wife drive both. And it's not like she doesn't work on them. It's not like it's devoted to her. I can drive any of her rigs at any time, and she can't stop me. But we will do a Wheelin' Wednesday at some point in the near to not too distant future, where we will take both of those out and we'll swap radios back and forth, and we'll see which one she likes. Whether she likes the TI Fury, which now, when I'm building this, will give me motivation to finish the TI Fury, which is 95% complete. It basically needs wired up, a receiver box put in it, the body mounted, the fenders cut, you know, the finishing work. And then I'll get this thing built and we'll get it out there. I get this feeling she's going to like the TI Fury more because it has the pickup truck look. But we will find out. And also, it will not be V2 Mias axles. It's going to be the regular Capra four-wheel steer set because if I order the V2s, they will be here sometime late September. And when I click add to tomorrow's delivery on the poll is at 65%. When I click add to tomorrow's delivery on these silver Mias Capras, they will be here tomorrow morning. So, and ordered. You know what's crazy? Friday is the day. It's Schoolboy Q. It always goes back to Schoolboy Q. Paid on the 1st, broke by the 3rd. I get paid on the 21st, and I'm broke by the 23rd because I have to make all of my maintenance payments. I have to make my Apple Card payment and my payment to PayPal buyer credit, which is how I buy everything during the month because I live kind of like a teacher where I get paid the 21st of every month, and I do not stretch that money out. I spend most of that money by the 23rd of the month. So I will spend I've spent $600 today, and I'll spend about another $800 today, and then most of my money will be gone. So it's fortunate that the giveaway rig for September is already built. Yeah, broke is where I'm headed towards. Got my MB10 this morning, pretty impressive as I ordered during the last half of the live stream last week, right? It must have been in US warehouse. I'm a head custodian. I know the feeling. Yeah, logistics decided it hovered above 60% except for silver. And joke's on you guys. I prefer silver because when they're all scratched up, you can't tell. I spent a quarter of my monthly income this morning between bills and the RC Trucky Truck. Nice. That's the way to do it. I mean, not the bills part, but the RC Trucky Truck part. That front axle is incredibly heavy. I got axles from Mias in China in a week. Sometimes Mias is on the ball. Oh, I'm still tooting my own horn with how well these hollow balls fit. I might need to trim. The fronts look great. I don't know, we'll see. I might need to trim right there. Little Dremel action. That body I got from you got instantly promoted to the Zoku element. Heck yeah. Don't stab me, but I ordered a 118 for my first trucky truck. We all got to start somewhere. You started on the dark side. So just be aware, if you post any questions on the Discord, I won't see them. I don't go into the wretched hive of scum and villainy where the micro people hang out. I don't go over there. I've never been in that channel. If a little red one shows up next to it, my kid showed me that I can just click the little dots and change it to mark as red. And like I say, I'm not saying anything overly negative about micros. If you like micros, that's great. I do not want to work on them, so I won't. Also, there's a false economy there. You end up spending a bunch of money for something that's really tiny. For that skid with the 2 different roll centers, since they're drilled for 3 gear, why not test the skid with the twins? You know, I could do that. That's not a terrible idea. That would also motivate me to get off of my ass, because let me show you another source of shame, which is we walk over here to where Zaymont is, and he's closer, so we'll pick him up. Some may remember, some may not, that while he is fitted with a Stealth X now, when he was originally built, he was not. He was fitted with an OD3. So that's a skid for an OD3. I had to build an adapter plate to put a Stealth X on it. So that would give me the ability to just swap them over to correct skids. Now, why I haven't done that is, oh, that's bent. Look how bent that screw is. Is it loose? It might just be loose. Oh, it's just really loose. Nice. But I can swap over to a conventional skid. Well, let me ask and answer my own question. Do I have both styles of skid? Because I have a split roll center skid and 3D print. There's what they're running right now. So somebody used to run one. I'm going to either have to make or find just a Delrin skid. Well, what gearbox is that for? I'm no great fan of 3D printed, but I should just be able to swap those in. Y'all are lucky a channel even exists in the Discord. The fact that Bigfoot has a micro channel at all is honestly wild, yeah. Oh, I gotta spend $200 when I get back in the house. Sheetlabels.com. I'm buying the first decals of 2026. Okay. Now, where did we come out? 300 dead. I mean, there's no way the suspension is going to get us that low, so we should be fine. We would most likely be about there. Yeah, I'm going to want the other wheels. That looks a little, that looks a little wide. But I'm looking at the link position, and I'm looking at where the shock mounts are. You know what? I think we're okay. I think our shock angles won't be stupid. Bloop. Do they have fake herb axles already? Neil? The F10W is a cheat code. It's just a cheat code axle. The 215 pin to pin Capras are 220? 219. So it's 4 millimeters narrower than a Capra axle, aka take the 6 millimeter hubs off take the 9 millimeter hubs off your wheels, put 6 millimeter hubs on your wheels. Congratulations, you just turned your Capras into cheat codes. I've only ever gone to the micro section of Discord to see the crazy stuff the AI bot says. There's an, oh! I was going to say there's an AI bot, and then I remembered who you're talking about. Yeah. I miss out on a lot of the AI bot because I don't go in there. Yeah, 10 millimeters wider than an F10. Okay, we should do front first. Oh, also, you'll notice, maybe you won't. See that's missing a screw? See how there's no screw right there? The screw touches the pumpkin. How did I have it bolted down before? Is mystery. Now I can use the, oh. Hey. Hey. Just like that. We want to keep a heap of caster put the sliders on so I can't see. That's not right. It looks like about 80. It looks like about 80, and it should be double straights. Please, universe, I feel like I'm not asking you for too much. Oh, the AI bot, Taz. Yeah, his name is Taz. And I have long speculated that it's not possible for him to be an actual person. I mean it half tongue-in-cheekily, but he poses some questions that genuinely seem like a learning engine trying to learn. This isn't happening. I wish I could be an AI bot. At least my old broken body wouldn't hurt. I feel like if they turned us into AI bots, we'd all get existential really fast, have a crisis, go rampant, try to destroy mankind. Yeah, he stopped posting in the normal channels. And he was pretty much, I guess, only posting in micro. Because I, never saw him outside of micro. Okay, these, I think, these might not be 35. These might actually be 36. Yep, 36. A millimeter longer, I don't think is going to do us in. If I was an AI, I would instantly use my self-destruct sequence. That just reminds me of that robot, the Rick and Morty robot. What is my purpose? Your purpose is to bring the butter. I feel that. This is the time where I check one side and it's 3:30 and the other side is 3:27. I'm not saying I haven't done that. I'm not saying I haven't done that. Positive casters, crazy stuff. That's called a shopping cart, aka the most unstable vehicle there is. Old people driving like bots, exactly the speed limit. We only have two varieties on my street: 20 miles an hour over or 20 miles an hour under. There's nobody in between. Friday family time. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, Mrs. Gurney. We'll see you soonly. Now I'm riddled with doubt. Ah, I did do that. I have definitely done the wrong links multiple times. I missed the happy poop? Paying too much attention to what I'm doing is the problem. Did I finalize the driver figure? I ordered a Dreadnought G.I. Joe 6-inch. I ordered it at the same time that I ordered the Zombie to put in Zombie. Because that way Zombie can get in there. And what I'm going to do, and I don't know if I'll document it because it's tiresome. Everybody's going to get a run. Like, I'll take everybody out and I'll drive them around a bit and make sure. sent a treat. Just, Avatar is so small and my eyes are so old. We're going to find out how many more screws I need to insert and or remove. Hey, did I say Miata with the 5? And the raccoon himself with the 1. Drivers in Southwest Florida were the worst I've ever seen. The most wrong way in traffic and going 35 on the highways. Naples, Florida is the home of the nearly dead and the newlywed. They should put that on the sign when you drive into town. The nearly dead and the newlywed is great. That screw's gone forever now. My first ever gifted membership. Hey. Left lane camping is the worst in the Pacific Northwest. I know that people in Southern California think I'm camping out in the left lane doing 80 miles an hour. Look, if you want to tailgate me while I'm doing 80, feel free. Go right ahead. I'm doing 15 over the limit. If you want to do more than that, you're going to have to get it there and start weaving around with the rest of the jackasses. Now, I wouldn't try that in Arizona. If you're driving under 100 in Arizona, somebody will try to murder you. I think they're driving that fast because if they stop for any amount of time, they'll melt. I'm going to take the sliders off. See, we don't have passing lanes here. Not in California. There's too much traffic. There's no such thing as a passing lane. We call that the fast lane. If you're going fast, you're in the fast lane. Sometimes there'll be a carpool lane on the outside of that one. Fast lane being the number 1 lane. We don't have passing lanes in California. And that's a big problem when people come from other places and they try to drive here. That's not a passing lane. If you try to weave in and out of traffic here, you're going to get killed. Because it's more cars than you've ever seen in your entire life. They're all doing 25 miles an hour over the limit. But I don't want to get hooked for felony speeding. They're all the fast lane. It's state law to keep right and less passing here. Yeah, we didn't see that. We don't have that here. Now, I'm bolting this from the inside because I need to check and see if I can get a drive shaft on here. The merging lane isn't a passing lane? Well, I'm born and raised San Bernardino, California, and we have multiple spots where there are on-ramps into the fast lane because their objective was to keep the wrong side of the tracks on the other side of the tracks. So they would, in an effort to not put the on-ramp on the other side in the bad part of town, they would put the on-ramp into the fast lane. We still have a couple spots where the on-ramp goes into the fast lane. We also have spots where an on-ramp is also an off-ramp. So like cars are getting off. Like this is a ramp and you've gotten on it to get on the freeway, but cars that are getting off the freeway are also getting there. They go that way and then you go that way. So you get on the freeway and then they get off the freeway. Because, we don't have any space, I guess. Why do I just keep grabbing 15s? Oh, Pacific High. Nice. It's hot? You said it, brother. It is definitely hot. Oh, I just put all the 14s away. Those 14s held your slider on, Chief. Everybody sucks at driving everywhere. Pretty much. Yeah. SoCal is its own entity. It really is. Yeah, don't try the passing lane thing here. I had a guy. I was with the wife and one other person in the car, and cruise control is set at 80. We're in the left lane. Speed limit is 65. We're motoring along, and a guy is flying up behind me, and he did the high beam. He did the flash of the high beams during the day. He did the flash of the high beams, and I was like, this guy thinks he's in Germany. I don't know, brother. Tell me you're not from California without telling me you're not from California, because ain't nobody moving out of the way for you if you're flashing your lights at them. Unless you got a blue light bar on top of your car, I ain't going nowhere. That's hilarious. We laughed and laughed. And I like that most of those guys that are in the biggest of all available hurries, they'll get themselves a clear spot, and they'll do the old quad lane change, and they'll get flying out around you, and then they'll get stuck behind like a box truck, and then you just go motoring on past them. I know part of it is age, but then again, I was never that guy that, like, I'm not a weaver. When we went to see this spring training game in Mesa, I got in the lane on the 10, set the cruise control, and didn't exit that lane, nor take it off of cruise control until we were out of California. What are you two up to?
Well, inquiring minds want to know. Oh. How old is that, by the way? So, cribs. Where's your party at, man? It's going to be at my crib.
Okay.
Okay, how old is that? Where'd the word crib come from?
I assume the 1960s. I assume it certainly predates its usage on MTV and going to MTV cribs. I would say that the usage of calling a house a crib would go back at the very least to the 70s, at least 50 years.
You think it can make a comeback?
Can cribs make a comeback? Waiting on UPS to bring my wife's new phone so we can go to Walmart with the mother-in-law. Oh. We're all back together again in a new house, but they said just a 4-buggy trip. Oof. He's looking forward to his wife getting a phone so they can go to Walmart?
Wow.
I'm going to stick to what I'm doing.
Do any of them know about crib?
It says,
here.
say hello to the missus for us. Yeah, MTV Cribs, which was mostly all fake, except for the famous Red Man episode.
So do you think we can make a comeback and put it in their invite for their birthday?
Come to my crib?
Come to my crib. I don't think it's one.
I think people know what it means.
I don't mess with the word crib.
Stunon says my toddler has a crib.
All right.
You got the audio showing off my artwork.
Well, we're seeing if anybody wants to buy it.
It's so pretty.
And maybe somebody will. Maybe we'll have an email, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We need Mrs. C here for a full live. We need the banter. Well, she has like a job.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's not the next one, it's the one after that. And she's eating gluten-free Oreos. I feel like, okay, there's no sarcasm in it because it's just a sentence. But when the real Stevie T says Montreal is renowned for its excellent drivers, I feel like that's not true.
Okay. We're out. We're Audi what?
Audi 5000.
We're Audi 5000.
What color is this, Charles? What's the primary color theme on this? Not the mermaid. What is the primary color theme on this, Charles? I need to know. Oh, Miata Commuter says gluten-free Oreos are actually pretty okay. And I think that's how you would evaluate them
The
as well.
chocolate chip, the
Chips
Ahoy.
Ahoy?
Chips Ahoy are better.
Oh. According to the boss, gluten-free Chips Ahoy are better. Orange?
It's orange? Wow. I'm glad I'm not
Could you
colorblind.
get more colorblind than that?
I'm so glad I'm not colorblind.
Orange is crazy. So I feel like will this be an advantage? I think everybody else in 1.5 is. I've often wondered how they took the gluten out of food. Well, they just make it out of something that just doesn't naturally have gluten in it. A serving size of Oreos is one sleeve. That is correct. I do like the radio lanyards. I have the. Oh wait, look, I can show you. I have this one on the Tuesday apparatus. But I tend to be moving at so much speed that I don't need it. But I have it. And that's what it's handy for. And I feel like that's what I need to do for the regular Sunday, for the Wheel and Wednesday recordings as well. If I'm not using it, better to have it. You know? Superb. Now, I know that I need to do that. But before I do this, I need to put a drive shaft on the front. Because, almost like I've done this before and messed things up, I mounted this gearbox dead smack in the middle. And it's adjustable to either side because I don't know if it's going to clear a drive shaft. And this drive shaft needs to be, give or take, 100. I think I just ordered some. Well, that'll definitely work for now. If you want to talk about something that is delightfully insidious, it is Amazon suggesting items that would allow you to get your items delivered. Oh, do you want that like at 4 a.m.? All you have to do is order one of the things from this list. Ooh, you can get that stuff the same day if you order this 2-pack of drive shafts. I'm like, well, we're slightly out of. We are a hair out of phase. What's the tallest 1.9 tire? Boggers, I think. Wait, that's a genius. Who's got the boggers? Where are my boggers? Boggers are like 5.7 inches tall and 1.9. If there's a 1.9 tire taller than that, I can't think of it. I almost government named the wife, but I wanted to commend her on her driving. She's getting pretty good with the little toy cars that go slow. She is. She really is. Doesn't everyone make a bogger tire? Well, Proline G8 boggers. I don't know where they are. Because I swear they got replaced. Are they still there? Yeah, they got replaced. I don't know where my set of boggers is. In this building somewhere, presumes. Best bogger tire for rock crawling? J Concepts holds. That's hard to disagree with. 85 in Westminster. It's 85 in this building. That's not true. It's 83 and a half. Oh, what was I doing? Got powerfully distracted. Come on. Okay. I should have put the rear links on. Okay, we need one length. Whatever the next length up is would be the perfect drive shaft. This will be ultimately serviceable, though. And because of the spacer, no, I'm coming. It's the end. 8246. I got it worse than Maryland. It's 8358 in the building. I'm looking for clay oval track tires I can put on my Max. I was a Barcodes guy. Barcodes, Goosebumps. I ran a lot of AKAs, and I know they're gone now. Do they make clay tires in the full Max size still? I mean, or do they? I mean, I would assume. I would guess. I don't know. Whatever J-Con has got. Yeah, I was going to say Truggy tires, but Truggy tires aren't Max size. You know what? I think we're gold. Look how little he is. He's a little guy. And when we get him on his narrower wheels, he's going to be an even littler guy. We'll go down a hole. So we're going to go like 110, 112. I can't believe what's happening. It is absolutely steaming hot in here. It is full body sweat conditions. I already forgot what the number was. Couldn't even get the ruler out. 112. I would like to be around 112. Which is a damn 70. Okay, how far apart is the front row of holes? It's 8 millimeters, so that would be an 80. 80 I've got. Well, I'm asking because I don't know what a clay tire is. And a play track is to have a play track tires. A clay track, I don't know. Oh, okay. So a clay tire will look like, I've got a bunch of, I'm going to close one of the herb windows. And we're going to replace that with an A-main window. But nobody's asked about it. We haven't gotten to mark another mark on the board. So we go to cars and trucks. We go to tires and wheels. We go to off-road tires. We go to... AKA's still around. That's buggy. It's all buggy. That's truggy. I just need to get a picture of what a truggy tire looks like. J-Concepts would have been a better pick. J-Concepts has 520 options inside the car and truck driver set. That's crazy. There's turf tires, carpet tires, Stalkers, double D's, smoothies, aka slicks, carpet tires, X-Bites, double bars, smoothies, Falcons, Fuzzbite, that's a carpet tire. Those are dirt tires, carpet. Okay. This is not helping. 520 items is not helping. Just show me something. Rehabs, dirt webs, dirt smoothies, raptors. Is everybody just running slicks on clay now? Because it just goes straight to dirt tires. GRP micros. Mini pins are what you're going to see a lot of. I was looking for something bar-coded. Yeah, there we go. Like, this is not indicative of any specific recommendation, but like a tire, like if it looks like that, right? If it looks like a rock bump, which was the goose bump, that tends to be pin bars. If a tire is a pin bar, I went through a lot of stages to where I could have just said pin bars. Tires that are a combination of pins and bars. Why didn't I just look up goosebumps? They are just in buggy. Oh, well, they got 2.2 truck. Yeah, there you go. There you go. This tread pattern should look familiar. It's a rock bump. That's just a 2.2. So, I mean, look how little sidewall there is to the size of the rim. So, I don't know what they make in, like, because when you say max, that's either T-Max or X-Max, and those are big. I don't know if there's a pin bar tire that big. But there could be. Oh, 80. We'll get something built. The only straight 80s I have are Traxxas. It'll do. 86 in the house. You and me, Chuck Hess, we're together. Closest you would get to pins would be HBI Savage tires. Could be. Incidental Reeser 90 in the room I'm sitting in. I'm trying to catch up. It's getting gradually warmer in here because, you know, the good old swampy, it's only good for, I mean, the rule of thumb is 20 degrees. It's going to knock 20 degrees off the intake air. How much is the forge? I would love to get 80 for it because I'm giving the kid 50 for a body. They're getting 50 for the job. And then that covers... How is that 125? Did I do this wrong or did I do this right? Make sure it's sitting correctly. It'll do. We're gonna you know what? We're just making it up as we go along. Because that way I'm subsidizing it one way or the other. It's 80 total. I'm helping cover the shipping. I will PayPal you. Can you send it to Mr. Hurley? Yeah, I'll send it to whoever. I'll send it to whoever you want me to. I'm considering going to 8-size tires. I keep blowing 17mm hexes on the Kraton. Destroying a 17mm hex is wild. Firestorm full cleat. 6.43 inches tall. Yeah, any of the MT tires that are, like, actually, I think J Concepts has some pretty low, like, they've got some, what is it? Is it the Big Cheese? Is that what it is? Big Cheese. I feel like it's got cheese in the name. Yeah, the Big Cheese. You know, the waffle might be a little tall, but you know what? Those might work. Now, They might work. They might also get you thrown out because they'd be like, you're tearing up the track. Oh, Mr. Hurley. Oh. He almost said it. He almost said it exactly. Big Zeke, I have ordered a RC Speedy R2 moon buggy and a four-wheel steer pair of Mias Capras, and I'm gonna build the fake. I'm gonna build the Econo, the herb for poors. I blew a set of copperheads today, 63 miles an hour. And when they blew, sent the foam about 30 to 40 feet in the air as the Kraton cartwheeled to a stop. Cartwheels are, I mean, the Kraton is, it's just trouble. What do I think of the Vanquish Moon Buggy? I think that this ultimately says something that, like, should never be said. Because if you had that money, if you had $2,600 plus tax to buy that kit, not even outfitted, by the time it's fully outfitted, $3,200. Do you know how many rigs you could build? Do you know how many things you could do? For $3,000, you could build 4 absolutely tricked rigs. Like, tricked. What was the whiteboard with the strikes for? It's whenever anybody says, what do you think of the herb, or have you heard of the new herb? Because we were making a bet as to how many times it would get asked about. Less than I had anticipated, if I'm being completely honest. Now, I think a lot of people weren't aware of the fact that it cost $2,600. Well, $1,500 to $2,600. I mean, who's the audience? It's the Vanquish dudes. The Vanquish dudes that must have all things Vanquish. But my God, there has to be limits, right? For the price of an herb, you could buy 7 Enduro SEs. Oh no, Mr. Hurley, the one that I hadn't remembered to finish. So, as you may or may not know, I have mentioned it before. They built a Costco for me right down the street. It is 3/4 of a mile away to the Costco, and I love it. It's one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me, because me and the painter, we shop every Wednesday morning. We go to the Costco, we do our Costco shopping, we go across the street, we buy our incidentals at the grocery outlet. It's where I get my like salad dressing and stuff like that. And then we drive right up the street and we go to the Quick Quack and I get my car washed every Wednesday. And then we come home and we eat our chicken bakes. It's delightful. Wednesday has got a layout. And because they laid it all out like that, from the time we leave the house to when we're pulling back into the house after going 2 grocery shoppings and washing the car, we're gone for like hour and 15 minutes. It's outstanding. It's outstanding. The Costco, this is what I'm leading to. The Costco is fully air conditioned. They have their roll-up doors that are down. And if you've ever been inside a Costco, it's like an ice box in there. So the guys that work at the tire center at the Costco are working. It is significantly cooler, the room they're working in right now, than the room I'm working in right now. Just for all you mechanics out there that are suffering in environments like Mr. Hurley does. Like I said, when, or maybe I haven't. I said it when the release announce happened. I am curious about the LFD, which is their new gearbox. I'm curious as about what the pricing is going to be when it's released. I'm curious as to whether they're going to come out with a sintered gear version for when they almost certainly have a RTR version of the RT Herb. Because they won't want to give you the fancy stuff.
They won't want you to give it the fancy stuff.
But here's the thing. Last Creation says UC Fab RC Speedy Market, right? That's what they're aiming at. But I just bought a cage and axles for, let's just call it $600, counting tax and all of that stuff. I have a drawer right down here. Got a little bin. I've already started my bin. Okay. Here's my shocks. Look at those guys. Count. Here's the new D1RC, the coated ones. Here's my gearbox. The D1RC little micro LCG dig box. This was $50. These were $50. So right now I'm at $700. I'm less than half of the base model, and the only thing I'm missing are links, assorted gewgaws and doodads here and there. Other than that, I basically have the base model kit for half the money. There's no chance under this or any other colored sun where I'm going to spend another $800 outfitting it. I've got a Fusion Elite in the drawer right below. But say that cost had to be factored. That would take me to $850. And then wheels, tires, inserts, and everything else, we know I can get that for $150. If I go fancy servos at both ends, I'm still under $1,000 RTR. Does that include the interior and the scale motor in the rear? This does have the Herb has the interior. Look, I will build an interior. That's not a problem. I will locate a chair and I will get my styrene and my ABS and I will build that out. And I will do the same. Sort of thing. I mean, I've long thought about getting one of those. What is it? JE Enterprises, the guy that does the absolutely insane 3D printed engines from Canada. Yeah, I mean, I could print an engine. I could just buy an engine and slap an engine in there. I'll figure something out. I could get another Injora motor cooler / engine, slap it in the back. That's what's in the back of Economoo. Vanquish thinks they're a boutique brand. They once were. And, I did buy these because they were on clearance. I don't know where I'm going to put these, but I'm gonna put them somewhere. These are the D1RC. And for those people out there who don't like putting in beadlock screws, that's it, baby. There's no screws on the back. 3 screws put these wheels together. I'm not a 3-spoke guy, and they also call them red. Not even Mr. Hurley would call those red. What does Mr. Hurley call pink? If this was 2018, the Herb would be $500. No, I think the Herb would be the base model Herb would be $500. But then the next trim up would be the same. Then you'd have the pro pricing and the ultra pricing. Will 3 screws hold them? Sure. Why not? Lots of dudes run the gray. Lots of dudes run their beadlocks with only half the screws in them. That's called going too far for weight savings. 27. We're gonna do it. And I realize I'm doing it upside down, which just gives me all the opportunity to do it wrong. But, never let it be said that I don't walk danger. Can't wait for it to release 3D printed Herb for the price of an RTR from any other brand. I mean, I wish I could say that was satire, but Sounds frightfully close to the truth. That would be it right there. I thought Amazon shows Pro Elites unavailable at this time. Does it? I feel like I just made a link for one. Might have been the Pro that I was looking up though. Oh yeah. But yeah, A-Main still got them though. And they're coupon eligible on A-Main. So they're actually that makes them actually a little cheaper. And still $149.99. I saw them at $159 for a couple days, and it seemed like they went back down. And while it doesn't fit in everything, the absolute startling value of the Fusion line has got to be the 8SE. That's so much motor for $99. That's a crazy amount of motor for $99. This is what happened. Oh no, I knew it. That's what I was afraid of. So, the skid is a little too thick at the back. And it has blocked off my access. Yeah, we're just going to go that one. I'll fix it. I'll fix it later, only because it says Vanquish products, not because it's a good product. Correct. How does one go about sending a truck to you? You send me an email, crawlercanyon@gmail.com, and we'll hash out the details, and I will regale you with things like I might have it for 2 weeks. I might have it for 2 months. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Because the raccoon is here, and because I am here, and because we are lifelong baseball fans, I am a long-suffering fan of the Chicago Cubs, which thank God for the year of our Lord 2016 when I got to see them win the World Series, which means that I am allowed to die. Our friend from Maryland has unfortunately been saddled with being a fan of the Baltimore Orioles, and that might be as much punishment as being a Cubs fan. Maybe not as much, but it can come pretty close. So we both revel whenever anything happens to the Dodgers, to the Dog Hairs. I've hated the Dodgers since the 1980s. I've been a lifelong anti-fan of the Dodgers, and I'm absolutely proud of that fact. I never liked Vin Scully. There, I said it. If you want another California thing that'll get me, that will get rocks thrown at me, In-N-Out is overrated. Boom! In-N-Out is overrated. I do not like the Dodgers. So the Dodgers have been embracing a spirit of absolute financial corruption for like a decade in order to pay their players and do all these deferrals. So all of the money that the Dodgers are using for these deferral payrolls, they're paying themselves. So like the Dodgers organization is being financed by these 6 or 7 companies that are owned by the people that own the Dodgers. So they're lending money to themselves to pay deferred payrolls. And then they're saying, well, you know, we need to pay this money out or we need to pay that out. Oh, well, you don't have to worry about paying us back the money that you lent because they lent it to themselves. And then when they financed their TV contract, it's all a lie. They're writing it off as a loss so that they don't have to profit share with the rest of the league. Yeah, it's coming out of the Magic bank account. The Dodgers are paying themselves with their own money and claiming that they're taking a loss. So on the books, they're in the red. So that they're avoiding like paying taxes, they're avoiding having to do revenue sharing. And here's the thing, all I'm waiting for is for those diehard Dodger fans to spring up and explain how this is somehow okay. But they'll be like, well, actually, and the best part is, even if the owner sells the team, he will still be $5 billion in debt. And Ohtani has a clause that says he can opt out if the owner sells the team. Amazing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of anything LA either. As a lifelong resident of the Inland Empire, we take some pride in not being Los Angeles. The only thing we get from LA is crime and smog. The Dodgers and their fellowing group preferred are laundering all the California tax dollars that don't go to the homeless, transportation, and health care. So they're every corporation in the USA cheating on taxes by artificially showing a loss? Yeah, but to the tune of like $8 billion. And they're robbing the rest of baseball too. Because there's supposed to be league-wide revenue sharing. But the Dodgers are like, we can't revenue share because we're taking a loss on our media deal. And in the media deal, they're paying themselves. Yeah, the Dodgers are owned by 6 people. And those people own the 6 companies that loaned the money to the Dodgers to fund the shenanigans of the Dodgers. See, the raccoon is built with a hatred of the Yankees because he's stuck over there in the American League East. I don't have to hate the Yankees because growing up was before interleague. So, like, I didn't see the Dodgers, I didn't see the Yankees play the Cubs until I was probably in my 40s. So I never had some time to hate. Mr. Hurley hates the Cowboys. That just seems like it's in vogue, though. I don't like anything New York or California. The only thing I like about California is the weather and how close everything is together. I saw the news earlier that California is trying to fund with taxpayer money a place for the homeless to, let's just say, self-pleasure. I wouldn't put it past them. That sounds like a thing California would try to fund. You know what? That's okay. It's not the precise pinion angle that I would have chosen. Yeah, the Tampa Bay Rays. Oh, I don't like California taxes either, no. No. And I've never really watched football. If you can believe this, I've gone most of my life without watching football. I would watch one game a year, which is the Super Bowl, and we would just watch it as a communal event where we would go to somebody's house and have a watch party and, eat little tiny cocktail hot dogs and chili and just have a good time. And the game is just slow and boring as hell. So I never got into football. And then I started watching the podcast with the Kelsey brothers before I knew that either of them really played football. And I started watching football a little bit. And in their defense, the NFL has made some effort to speed the game up a little bit. But still. American football, as we would call it, is still the sport that has the least happening. If you had a stopwatch and you only clicked it when he went, hut, and you click it again when somebody catches it or doesn't catch it, and you put all those together, there's like 6 or 7 minutes of actual activity in a football game. Most of the time, it's just nothing happening. I think American football should take a hint from the other football. Oh no, football is not. And no, Mr. Hurley. I know that you think baseball sucks and ice cream sucks, and you're a football fan, but football is 1,000,000,000% not faster than baseball. Baseball literally runs on a clock now. There's a pitch clock. There's a clock for how fast the batter is to get. If it's a pitching duel, baseball will last 2 hours. Game is done in 2 hours. And I bet he's in the right part of the world. I bet you could take Mr. Hurley. Somebody needs to adopt Mr. Hurley and take him to a Savannah Bananas game, and I bet he would have a good time. Because that's not straight baseball. That's banana ball. And people wear stilts and do backflips. And if you catch a ball in the crowd, it's an out. Football has clocks too, but they don't use it. They stop it all of the time. It's like regular foot. It's like the other football where you actually use your feet. But way worse. That clock never stops. They stop the clock in the NFL all the time. I was in a marching band, and I went to a football every game for 4 years. I still couldn't tell you the first thing about the game. I even was part of the first high school to play in an NFL halftime game. That's amazing. I don't understand how football is so big still. Neither do I. Neither do I. I will tell you this. It is two very different mindsets that watch football and watch baseball. Baseball is definitely got a taller nerd factor, because it's all about the micro stats. It's all about these numbers. This guy's batting average and his WAR and his field effectivity and all that stuff, right? There are definitely things to go to that can be more exciting. But every once in a while, man, you can find yourself at a baseball game. Whether it's a slugfest or a pitcher's duel, there's always an opportunity to have a good time. Mr. Hurley, you can't self-diagnose not being a nerd. You can call yourself a nerd, and that may or may not be true, but you can't say that you're not a nerd. That is for the rest of the universe to decide. And, ultimately, it makes no matter at all what the rest of the universe thinks. Sometimes they don't deburr the insides of these things when they drill them. And that is the case here. Most sports are just commercial money generators. I think that's all sports, really. How do you think the sport pays for itself? They're paying these guys millions of dollars a year. Just like that. All ball games suck to watch? I don't know if I'd go that far. I like that 3-on-3 basketball they do in the Olympics. That's fun to watch. It's so fast. And it's just a clock. Throw the TV in the trash. I barely watch any TV. Like, I'm a limited series junkie. I love me a limited series. I have a couple regular series that I watch. For anyone who knows what I'm talking about, the current season of Silo, I don't care for it so much. So I agree with the football having 11 minutes of activity, but I disagree with baseball with the 18 minutes, because where do they judge that from? Do they judge that from when the pitcher catches the ball in his mitt? Do they judge it from when he lets go of the ball and it's in the air for 0.2 of a second and then it hits the catcher's glove? When does the time start and stop? It's really easy to determine in football when something's happening and when something isn't. But in baseball, it's a lot harder to tell. I think you just have to record basically the lengths of the half innings. I mean, technically, if there's a man on base, something is happening. So then that clock should just be running the whole time. Because that guy, if there's a ball on the field, the ball is live and the game is live, and he could take off and steal a base. I also think football games are going to come out to very close to the same length of amount of time being played, like within a minute. But baseball can be all over the place. I like that cricket, the one that John Boy was getting into, the one where it's like a much quicker, like those games seem really, almost like they almost turned it into volleyball. Like it goes really fast. They like went to someplace in the Caribbean to play cricket. I'm not going to pretend that I understand how cricket works. Cricket, I mean, obviously, Whack Bat from Fantastic Mr. Fox is a send-up of baseball, but I think it works equally well as a send-up of cricket. I think we need 300 CST for this. The fast cricket is amazing. Hit it for 6 every time. Yeah. The scores are crazy. I haven't filled enough of these SO95s to know how much to fill it. Oh, I'm remembering now. Yeah, there's no bleed mechanism on these things at all. You just have to... You basically have to use a Q-tip and take oil out until it feels mostly right. The raccoon asked if I would take a pitcher's duel or a slugfest. Hated them since Kirk Gibson's walk-off home run. I feel you, brother. I'm right there. I don't know. You know, I might go with the unpopular opinion and say a pitcher's duel. Because hitting a home run is inarguably a difficult thing to do. But pitching like a perfect game or even a near perfect game is incredibly difficult to do. That's one man against the world. And you know what they're nice enough to do? They're nice enough to put the spring cups on, but then you have to take the bottoms off to put the springs on. And, oh, I don't remember the first set having 2 different cups. So they have regular cups and they have split cups. Well, we're going to split cups. Maybe that's why I don't remember taking those off. And you know we're going straight to the .7s. We're going to hope that these are soft enough. We need a real Rocket League. That would be amazing. Yeah. Pitching difficulty has definitely gone up with ABS. And the thing about baseball is this. You notice, I'm not telling Mr. Hurley to go out and become a baseball fan. It's too late for me. I've been watching Cubs games since I was 11 years old. What, I'm just going to stop? This is what it is now. You know? It does feel pretty good. I gotta respect where respect is due. Oh, I found the wrench. I would rather use a real wrench. We got some little spacers. They do their very own flavor of the Desert Lizard ball. Thank God I made this big trough on the bench because everything just rolls off into it. Right? Don't be a quitter, Stu Non. Don't be a quitter. You've already done this much meth. Might as well just keep doing the meth, you know? Like, who are you ultimately saving? You know? Wow. How long would a unit stay for Teresa's asking for a friend? I would say that a good, safe guesstimate would be a month. If you're comfortable, like that, just do that. If you're comfortable being without your rig for a month, then you're good. I can turn them around much faster. But call it a month and you'll feel comfortable. Whatever length this is, I need longer than this. I feel like those should have some kind of O-ring on them. So we shouldn't have to worry. We've got good drive shaft insertion here. That looks like about the right length. F1 is the sport to watch. Ugh, patooey! Whoever qualified on the pole wins. And sport bike is getting just as bad. No lead changes. F1 is non-competitive. And the FIA made it that way. I like touring car racing. Touring car racing can be pretty great. We're going to go maybe third. Man, I am on fire. Yeah, WRC is great. I was a Subaru guy, though, so... Classic Tetris world champion. You know, Mr. Scurvy might be saying that half in jest, but holy crap, those people are superhuman. I watched that girl beat the, highest Tetris Classic score ever. It was wild. What's the racing with the pickup trucks jumping? Yeah. Is it Torque series? Amazing. The ones down in Australia where Robbie Gordon and all those guys are taking those stadium trucks and driving them on the street. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh, also, don't forget, where the New Zealanders were out Americaning Americans, jet sprinting. Jet sprinting is wild. And of course, Monster Jam, Supercross, Rallycross, any racing event you can do inside of a stadium is going to be outstanding. Yeah, Isle of Man TT is one of the best because it is definitely an extreme sport, an extreme event of motorcycle racing because somebody still dies, basically every year. And they don't They don't try to be like, oh, well, now the bikes can only have this much displacement. And they're like, just get out there, try to go as fast as humanly possible, and we would appreciate it if you did try not to die. Isle of Man is crazy. What's craziest about Isle of Man is it's not the deadliest motorsport event in history. I would have thought it was, but apparently it's the Indianapolis 500. Probably because the Indy 500 has been going for so long. They've been doing it for so long. I've done my own personal, you could call it a treatise, about why I got enraged. I know, you wouldn't believe it. A couple of years ago, yeah, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Like hundreds of people have died there, apparently. I was looking up what is the, what is the deadliest motorsport, and you think it's going to be, like Le Mans or any of the 24-hour events or some event that's been going on for years and years and years. You think it's going to be Isle of Man. They're like, no. Apparently more competitors have died at Indianapolis. Quote from Red Sox first baseman, I'm not going to get hurt running on a ground ball. If you're a real fan and you know baseball, there's no case for me to hustle out of the box. I'm not. Oof. Yeah, started in 1909. So I think that's where the Indianapolis 500 has a big advantage in deaths. Because I live, well, not as close as Mr. Truitt. Mr. Truitt lives much closer to the old location of Riverside Speedway, which was an absolute widowmaker. That's where Ken Miles died, the guy from the Ford versus Ferrari movie. And that track, crazy. There was apparently, oh yeah, remember when I said the pinion angle isn't what I wanted it to be? Well, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to mount those uppers in a different hole, and they wouldn't fit because I need to grind down the skid. But we'll get to that later. That needs to be rotated back a fair bit. Yeah, most of the deaths happened 100 years ago. So any event that wasn't operating over 100 years ago isn't going to have 3/8, 10 millimeter. If it was 1/4 inch, we'd be set. We'd be perfect. I should probably order myself a sheet of 7 millimeter or 1/4 inch. It's just a lot easier to work with the 10 mil. And I can machine the back of that down to clear the links, no problem. I'm hoping that I'll get one of these full and I won't have to dip it with a Q-tip. And there's no bleed mechanism. So I got one. I like that silver is getting closer and closer to getting past. Too late for that, though. And I know that I rode bikes for a lot of years, so I'm biased in that way, but if we're talking about a competitive race in which physicality is like the primary part of it, right? So that's foot racing. I'm not going to count motorsport because while that does, I do regard the people. I do regard race car drivers as athletes. They have to be able to do that. But the Tour de France is the grandest exhibition of physical ability that has ever been conceived by man. Because those human beings that endeavor to undertake that event actually, like, what they're doing is not good for the human body. Like, they are killing themselves, just not all the way. They don't kill themselves all the way dead, but they are killing themselves. Those guys will lose something like 20% of their muscle mass. Well, here's the thing. Here's why. A triathlon takes what? Like 8 hours? In the 2 weeks, now mind you, there's no off days. You ride a bicycle every day for 2 weeks. They cover 2,000 miles, and they climb something like, it's like 250,000 feet of elevation. It's absolutely brutal. It's something that, like, I don't care who you are, any of you could do a triathlon. You wouldn't be good at it, most likely, unless you're really physically fit, right? But you could do one. I could go do a marathon tomorrow. It would take me 8 hours to do it, but I could do it. You know what you couldn't do, and you know what I couldn't do? The Tour de France. There's no way in hell. None of us. I can say that with a pretty high level of confidence, that not a single person present right now could complete the route of the Tour de France. And if you did complete it, would it take you like 4 months? It is the absolute pinnacle of physical activity. People who are born freaks of human nature, and some of them, you can do it as a support moto. I would try that. Couldn't do a MotoGP race either, but I could ride the bike. If you put a motor in it, I mean, I would finish dead last. Dead last. Because I'm not dragging my elbow on the ground, but that's skill. That's just a skill. I'm talking about physical capability that is not held by 99.999% of the population. You have to be born different, and then you have to train too much, and then you probably have to do a little bit of substances. I'm not saying that they all are, but I'm saying that there are. It's just, any of us could play baseball. Any of us could play football. We could play a basketball game. EPO, small frame, good heart to lung. Yeah, but some of the greatest guys that have ever competed are like 6-footers. Just genuinely born different. Born different. Like Phelps, why, as a swimmer, why nobody's ever going to get, like, just a freak. Like, look at his body. Like, he was born to swim and not do anything else. Usain Bolt puts more pressure down with his foot when he lands than any other person ever has. And I know his record, his record in the 100 got beat? 200? Either way. I ain't playing football anymore. Already had my knee replaced at 18. My playing days are done. Ugh. Knee replacement. Mine sound like all of the members of the Rice Krispies. And, well, and then you've got the dude out there doing a full marathon in 2 hours, running 13 miles an hour for 2 hours straight. And 13 miles an hour is just a full-ass sprint. That's just a full-ass sprint for 2 hours. Wild. I got farther than I thought I would. I just saw 10-minute warning. I don't know how we got here. I've just been motoring. Motoring! No sports in my future, just RC vehicles and building analog modular self. You and me, buddy. 13 miles an hour, most people can't reach on foot for any amount of time. 100%. Some baseball man, they tracked his sprint speed. I think his sprint speed from first to second was like 29 miles an hour. What? Why so fast? I used to run my 2 miles in the PT test in under 10 minutes. That's pretty fast. Now, do it for 24 additional miles. That's the thing, right? The fastest mile I've ever ran in my life was like 8 minutes. They're going to get me for motoring? I don't think so. I don't think so. So Mr. Hurley would be like twice as fast as me. I don't have the fast twitches. And I'm too large. I was not built. I wasn't built for sport. I really wasn't. And that's fine. Yeah, we're just guessing. We're just guessing. We're gonna do it again. We've got one more live stream before the giveaway live stream, which is gonna be on Labor Day weekend when the wife and kid are away. So we got that. We got the one next week. And then we got the one where they're gone. So next week, we're going to finish this. I'm literally just going to shuffle this into a box. So I got shock, by the way, I got shock oil in my eye. Just a little bit on my finger, and I rub my eyelid. And it's got that weird 15 and 7 is 22. I got that weird, like, slushy feeling. What's the specs for this build? Okay, we got 10 Pro. Oh, wait, do you mean the giveaway build or this build? Oh, I will correct the rear. I only need to rebuild one pair of links. These are 10 Pro axles, which I think the only part of the axles that are from a 10 Pro are the tubes. The rest is, I think, all Mias. And then we've got Amazon $22 carbon fiber 10 Pro rails. Where's that last spacer? Yeah. And then we've got an OD3 in the middle. We've got, I guess this is Project LJ, as that's a Jeep LJ, as I'm supposed to believe. It is 300 millimeters on the wheelbase, because apparently that, I don't do any research. I don't do any due diligence. I just grab parts and I start throwing them together. What's it? Something's touching. But I can't see what. I get a little binder. Well, it might have just been a rod end, just wasn't turned quite right. We're probably going to end up having these laid down all the way. I hope I don't have to go to a shock key. Stick that on there so it'll hold the steering straight. Let's throw Zombie's wheels back on it. I do have another set of ripsaws. Oh. Getting a stitch in my side. Either from bending or sweating nonstop since I woke up. What am I talking about? I sweat all day yesterday. I sweat through my sleep. It's held really steady. 84 degrees in here. And I'm not... Oh, you dummy. You big dummy! The rear pinion angle requires attention. That is a quick fix, though. The only parts of me that aren't actively sweating are the parts that, well, okay, as soon as this is over, I'm going to go get my coffee drink. And then I'm going to get one of those giant pedestal fans from the Harbor Freight, from the Hazard Fraught. I was going to go to, I saw it at Tractor Supply, and I was like, look at that fan. Look at that fan. And then I walked up and I looked at the price tag, and it was $200. And I went on the internet and I looked up giant pedestal fan. I think my exact Google search term was giant pedestal fan. And of course, Hazard Fraught has one. Of course it's $99. I'm putting that thing right over there by the vehicle stand. That is a bone dry gear box. Because we don't know if the pinion gear is the pinion gear. Look at him. He's just a little guy. Come on. It's got a, it's not just me, right? There's like a little bit of a, maybe it's the tires. Is it the tires? It's giving Halo Warthog. It's giving a little bit Halo Warthog. Yeah, these are the softest springs they've got, and I would like sitting about there. This is almost full extension. It might need 90s. The 95s might be too high. That is sitting well up. And there's not a ton more weight that's going on to this. Most of the weight of this guy is going to be unsprung. Got to dig a trench and put the tube 3 to 4 inches deep. Uses intake. Sub 70-degree AC without the AC. That's what I should have done. I should have put that under the building before we put up the building. That hindsight is far behind us now. Oh, the front pinion angle is perfect. Oh, magic board! Magic board! So look at that. Perfect. Ugh. Nope, look over there. Don't look over there. Just look over there. That looks good up front. I have this sneaking suspicion though that 95s are gonna be too long. Because like a 90, that's how much sag we've got. A 90 would be right there with no changes to rate. An 85 would be like there. 85's a little too low. I think it needs a 90. I think it needs a 90. The problem with these is Rhino rolled their own. Their springs don't really match anything else. I mean, this rides like this sits like a Jeep, and it's all the way up. That's the softest spring in the pack, and the only thing that's going to be added is this and a battery. Give me something around an 850, and it's going to have a figure in it. That's and a receiver. Like we're adding, and we have so much room. I'm just going to put the battery on the slider to try to help compensate for the weight of the driver, because we're tucked, so we have to have a weight of the driver. Yeah, this thing's going to need to be really softly sprung. See what the articulation looks like. On the 95s, travel's going to be pretty long. It's a shame too. Like, I mean, that is an option though. We don't have, well, I do have 2 vertical holes where the FMM should be. I can make a plate and lay these shocks down more, but it would just be easier to. It would just be easier to put a shorter shock on it. It's standard travel. A little bit over a tire. Yeah, I need it right there, not woof. Yeah, it's high. What do I have? What do I have in 90? GTS, S80s, even more GTS. Oh! Can refill the Enjoras. I got DRX. I've got those Desert Lizards are hundreds. Those Desert Lizards are 120. Oh, I think we might have just found it right here. I think we just got it. Cutting a coil makes the spring stiffer. That would be shorter but stiffer. We definitely don't need stiffer. We need shorter and we need softer. I've got 80s. Yeah, I think the factory teams are going to be the guy, right? I also got S80. I got S80s and 80s and 90s. I don't have any of the very length ones. Very length ones might work too. I have to order those. Because the travel of 100, but the height of an 80, then we could just dial the height in. I think it's going to be fine on a 90, honestly. I think go over to these. What do we got on here? Whites and... Is it all whites? Whites and greens. That's 1.3s and 0.7s. Honestly, 0.7 in the front might be correct. There's no weight. Oh, well. Yeah, I got 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes. I'm going to think about the adjustables, though. For real. I'll just make it so easy. Would there be a way to run no spring on the shock? I don't believe in it. I don't believe in full droop. Because then you're no longer suspended. You might as well just use rubber bands. Rain and Blood is asking about the fake K&Ks. They went on the build that we built last week. So let's we'll put this in here. We'll get an RTR. We'll get an RTR weight. We'll put that in there, and we'll say an 850, and this will be a driver. So those axles are way heavier than I had thought. We are at 5.78, 2621, 2,621 grams. Now, I should acknowledge that I don't want to just dump everything out on the ground. Aluminum, steel, brass. It's carbon up there. And then the rear axle is aluminum, steel, brass, and then these are aluminum. So there's no, and the covers are brass. So there's no aluminum. I mean, there's no plastic on the axles except for the rod ends. So all the weight is unsprung. 2211 without the body and the accessories. But I mean, just look at it. What is weight that is sprung? That's why our springing is going to have to be so soft. I'll figure out a spot for the rhinos. Easy. But we need really soft. Like 0.7s, 0.8s. There's not a lot of sprung weight. Like we're talking maybe 800 grams. Maybe 800 grams of sprung weight. The body is a Proline LJ. Is it still in the trash can? I don't know if I already threw the tag away. Wait. Proline Jeep LJ, 2004 Jeep LJ clear body with trail cage and scale molded accessories for, and here's where the lie is, 313 millimeter wheelbase scale crawlers. I would like you, the group and the collective, I would like you to use your eyeballs, which are situated in your eye holes. Stay away from my eye holes! I would like you to turn your attention to this and tell me where you would get another 13 millimeters of wheelbase. Unless that 13 millimeters of wheelbase is just shoving the front axle all the way out the front. Because, as I said, that tire is basically even. And then in the rear, we've got this much overhang. Wait, let me get it flat. There you go. What do we got? 7, 8 millimeters, maybe 9 millimeters in the back. Approach and departure should be fine. This vehicle has a 300 millimeter wheelbase, and I will not, under any circumstances, move that front axle forward 5 millimeters. It's never going to happen, ever. I will light this rig on fire and burn it into a pool before I push that front axle forward 5 millimeters. Because that link length differential would not be desirable. You would have a rear link that is basically the same length as the front link, which means it's going to go up against other rigs in its same class and get moited. But I don't know where there's another 13 millimeters in this. Like, look where that sits in the fender, and look where this sits in the fender. This is not the first time we've encountered this either. The Proline F100 for what they claim is 313 has a dead straight 300 millimeter wheelbase. I put one on a Coyote, not a Coyote. I put one on a base camp, and I had to shorten the wheelbase to match the body. Now I'm curious as to whether or not the FJ is 300 or 313. But I mean, tell me, like, that's an excellent placement of a tire. We're going to minimize angry Lexan noises. But there's nowhere to borrow 13 millimeters for that wheelbase. So it's not going to lose. No, I take that back. That is incorrect. I was going to say it's not going to lose any weight, but if we take these still in the bags, full setup, $440. That's 440 grams. Wheels, tires, inserts, and all of the packing material. I don't even know. This is Sparta. We will not move. It is 300. One of these, 145. That's not too heavy, but that's still 580. 350, 700. So we're going to drop 250 grams in rotating mass going to the carbones with the rock booms. Oh, I weighted it with the battery, Mr. Hurley. I weighed it with the battery. And we made zero effort to minimize any weight on this guy. Yeah, 700 grams dead. So we're gonna shave a not insignificant amount. So our new RTR 2360, 5.2 pounds. Has anybody got beef about 5.2? I think 5.2, give or take. 5.2 is going to be pretty good. I don't reckon these shocks will be appreciably heavier or lighter than the shocks that are on there now. 20, what did we say? 5.2 pounds, 23 something? That's not bad. I'm good with that. The body is not phenomenally light either. It does have a cage. It has a full dash piece on the inside, and it does have some little like shifter bits and a steering wheel. It has all the little scaly bits, and it's half a pound. 235 grams is not light, and it's going to have to add a body weight to that, the weight of a body in the body, to help pay back his debt for getting into class 1.5 on a tuck. Could name it Leonidas. Or, follow me here, there is the convention of how all of the 10 Pros, although is this a 10 Pro? I guess it's more 10 Pro than it isn't. It's 10 Pro axles, 10 Pro rails. All of the 10 Pros have bird names. Rainbird, Bluebird, and Terrence, which is the fat red bird from Angry Birds. Are we flying in the face of convention if we don't give this guy a bird name? I don't know. I feel like he'll come into his name. Maybe I'll address these issues, like the shock mounting and whatnot, tomorrow. It's so close to finished. It's so close to finished that I'm like, do I put it off for a week, or do I just quickly throw it together, get the electronics in, and get it in a Weejo? I don't know. Maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll never know. Well, you'll find out next week, I guess. I am starting to fall behind on maintenance. Punk sent me replacement skids that move the motor over, that move the gearbox over. I have a couple Punk skids that need to be installed. We got pretty close. Like, that's a decent distance. I don't want to toot my own horn. But I feel like, you know what? Some small sense of accomplishment. Oh, the raccoon got banned again. Every time with the raccoon. All right, folks. Not charging now? So the camera's working. Huh. Turn that off. Who's going Wheel Sunday? I don't know. We're going to let the wife pick. We've got to get a quick one. Like, we've got to leave early and we've got to get back early. We're going to be going local because the wife has a birthday party in Newport and they're taking our car. It's the sisters are going. So I get to stay home. It's going to be amazing. I don't have to go to that. Yeah, time for coffee. It is definitely made with ice cream. Oh, Big Bird yellow. That's not bad. Leonidas 300 is not bad. Oh, we're gonna have to see how it shakes out for sure, man. Thank you, everyone. The final note: 84.5, 57% humidity. Woo! Thanks everybody for dropping by. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for turning out. Thanks for hanging out. What a good time. A good time had by all. I got to get up. I have to be out on the course tomorrow by like 6 a.m. so that I can film my 1.5 videos because by 9 o'clock it's 95 degrees. Awesome. So I see movement outdoors. They might be coming for me. I will see you all in the next one, everybody. I got a handful of rigs to put away. And I'll see you all for all of that.